try that.
This might work.
Will it show here?
I think so. It says starting.
Okay.
The way YouTube does it is so weird.
Yeah.
You are live. Yeah, there we go.
Yay! Okay, it's working!
Hey, there we go.
Hey, guys. Let me just tweet out the link real quick. I just want to make sure this is working before fucking everything up even more.
You gotta tweet it out so I can advertise Crash in the chat.
No.
Yeah, please. Come on.
Not until they sponsor my channel.
Live on YouTube.
Look away.
All right. Quickly. We're running out of Twitter time.
Okay, you can look. Do you want me to not say that?
No, you're fine. We're live anyway. It doesn't...
Okay.
We probably should have tweeted this out a little bit before.
Hey, this is the test stream, okay?
I'm just saying, as an
We're getting the bearings right now.
As an experienced streamer.
Yeah, you are experienced.
Very experienced. I know exactly what I'm doing. I still don't have emotes.
Is that the right link? Yeah.
I mean, let's assume it is.
Okay.
Are we good?
Yeah. All right. Hey, guys.
Oh, you got a super chat, right?
So, this is a super chat?
Yeah.
Toby says, look out, there's a neo-Nazi behind you.
Good
yes. Lord. Yes, the story of Chris's neo-Nazidom is something that I'm sure we will get to discuss this evening. Hey, so guys, I feel a little bit weird because I haven't streamed for like 6 years. But if you were like around in the old days, like the atheism YouTube days, you'll remember everyone used to stream a lot back then. I feel like it's kind of coming back right now. And I miss it. I really like live streaming. I've missed talking to you guys live. I've missed all the people saying, show me your tits, kill yourself. Please be nice. I'm very sensitive.
She's very new.
I'm very new.
We're not prepared for...
No, I'm not new. I'm like seasoned. I'm seasoned. Well, I have not done it for a long time.
Exactly.
So.
The landscape has changed dramatically.
That's true. A lot has happened since I was streaming a lot before. So, yeah, I was thinking about, well, never mind. I'll do that later. Okay, so I don't even know how I can talk to the chat with this happening. I literally can't, like, read it.
Yeah, the chat's going to go by. You're not going to be able to interact with the chat at this point.
Okay.
Like, even I couldn't maintain mine.
Right.
But you can interact with the super chats. Those are going to be a lot easier.
Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to read it, and it's just very overwhelming. Thank you, Brian Anderson, for the super chat. Is there a comment that I'm just not seeing?
No, he didn't write one. He just donated.
Okay. Thanks. That's nice of you. What did you guys think of the Red Pill documentary? Oh, I get that question all the time, actually. Did you know Cassie J, the director, said you and Chris should get a reality show? Oh, Jesus Christ.
It would be an entertaining one.
That sounds horrific. No offense.
No, it sounds horrific. But people would watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched it with Jeff and Memory, and it was really interesting. I enjoyed it. I thought that there was a lot of good points that were made. I thought the point about like physical violence kind of going both ways was an important thing to talk about, but it kind of lost me when they were talking about like men's rights around abortion, because I really don't think that that's, you know, up to a guy to decide for a woman. So that, you know, there were things that I liked and disliked about it, but I would recommend it, even if you disagree with everything. I think it's like a good thought exercise.
It's a neat insight, I think.
Yeah, thanks for the question, Gareth. Gareth Green, my sibling, apparently. Harry Wessex, thanks for the £5. That's nice of you. Can you go on poll on 4chan on stream and we can watch your reaction?
Good Lord.
What does that mean?
Don't do that. For the love of God.
What does that mean?
Poll is a 4chan board about politics.
Oh, and people stream on there?
No. They just want us to read what's on poll.
Oh.
Because it's certifiably insane.
Oh, really?
Well, it's 4chan, and it's the political board on 4chan.
I'm gonna write that down for a later date.
Oh God, look what you've done.
I think that sounds fun. I've never been there. It'll be like exploring a new place. Okay. Dark Mortal 100, thanks for the 5. Do I hate Mars bars? How am I supposed to know if you hate Mars bars?
This follows me everywhere, and it's not even my thing.
This is your thing?
No, that's. Do you know I hate everything?
No.
He's a YouTuber, but it's his thing. It's his dumb meme that's followed everybody. I got that one. I got that super chat yesterday. Go to the next one. Screw you.
Okay.
Dark Mortal.
I mean, I don't think you should say screw you. He's just asking a question about candy bars.
He understands.
No.
He understands. Message retracted.
Message retracted. Okay.
$20.
Okay.
That's weird.
Hey Forrest, what's up? Hey Gung Ho, visit my channel for musical food. Musical food?
Musical food.
Like making instruments out of food?
I think he means like food as beautiful as like music.
Right.
Like it's like music to your ears.
Right.
But it's food. Although I don't know how Gung Ho Jihad would. I don't know.
It seems like a conflicting sort of sentiment. Hey Mike, do you like Seinfeld, and how do you feel about Halo as well?
She doesn't play games.
Yeah, I don't play Halo. I do play like some computer games.
There's no other games.
Yes, I do like Seinfeld, although he likes Seinfeld a lot more than I do. Like he's even got a fucking. You want to show him your shirt?
Yeah, dude.
I like that shirt.
This was given to me by a fellow by the name of Young Crip on Twitter. He's a little crippled boy, and he gave me the address to this shirt.
You have to use PC language in my chat.
What do you mean?
Normally I don't care, but like...
No, that's how he describes himself.
Okay.
His name is Young Crip.
That's how he describes himself?
That's literally his Twitter name.
Okay.
It would be disrespectful to ignore his wishes.
I know. But like, make an effort.
I will try to be PC.
Okay. What is happening? I'm really confused.
It's overwhelming, isn't it?
Okay, how do I know which one? Where am I at?
Oh God. Wait. I think wait, go back.
Sorry guys, I'm really dumb at this.
We're new to this.
I'm so glad you forgave Sargon. That was an inspiration. It gives me hope that we have better days ahead. Taxes are theft. Thank you for your comment, White and Nerdy. Thanks for that though. I feel like a lot of people got mad at me for forgiving him. You know what's such a shitty feeling is like you have hard feelings and you're like sad and someone like upsets you and like hurts you on the internet. Sargon. He did some kind of shady stuff and said some kind of fucked up stuff about me. And I held on to some resentment from it, and I felt like the only way for me to like have a peaceful state of mind was to forgive him for it. And I feel like everyone freaked out on me because, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but it felt like everyone thought I was like forgiving him for everyone. Like now everyone has to forgive him or something.
I think their problem is that they kind of view it as like a you speak for all of us.
But I don't. I've been saying over and over, like I'm only speaking for myself. Like this is only about me. This is only about me.
But they don't care though. Is the thing. Yeah, you know that.
That's not necessarily true.
They don't care.
No. I think they do care. I think there's just like a lot of hurt there. But I don't know how. I honestly, like you guys, I don't know how I can apologize without. Or can not apologize, but forgive him without doing that, without like hurting people in that way. Yeah. It feels like there's no way around it.
I mean, my thing is, they're not you. They don't get to dictate how you personally, go about resolving.
Yeah, and that's like a basic feminist concept. Like if you've been abused and harassed by someone, like it's pretty feminist to say, I'm gonna let you handle that however you want. you know?
Right.
Like, if different people deal with their struggles in different ways, you know, that's like a pretty core thing. And so to see people turn around and kind of be hypocritical about that, amongst many other things, it's very frustrating, guys. Anyways, rant. Thanks, White and Nerdy. I'm just gonna be losty. Oh, is there a thing down here?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Oh, that might be better.
That might be a little better.
Yay! Oh, that's so much easier.
That's way better.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like an idiot.
It's a learning experience.
We're
still learning how to use this. Okay. Brian Anderson, thanks for the $10. Didn't you just give me like $5? Thanks, that's nice of you. Appreciate it. Fox says, yap. Can you make Chris take his shirt off?
No.
I believe...
It's against terms of service.
I believe it is.
I don't know.
That's funny.
Probably is.
I believe it. At least they'd be consistent. Like, guys, if women can't have their shirt off, then guys can't either.
Yeah, it's purely egalitarian.
Yeah, it's very egalitarian. But no, I can't make Chris do anything, including take his shirt off. Sorry.
I am a free individual.
He is. Don't
read that one. Kumbala. He donated my stream.
Asks, what videos of Chris's did you watch first?
Oh God.
Shit, what video did I watch first? Before we met, I only watched like one or two of his videos. I talked to him for a few weeks before I looked them up because I was worried about what I'd find.
The worst stuff imaginable.
There's this nice guy, and then there's gonna be these like horrific videos.
Yeah,
you know?
really terrible.
I know, that's what I had in my head, and then it wasn't that way.
They're the worst videos you could possibly find on the internet. I'll tell you that.
Well, anyways, I can't remember. If I remember, I'll tell you later. If you S power based off your what?
I don't know what that means.
An S power? Oh, like a superpower based off your favorite song? What would it be? Whoa, I feel like I just decoded some shit.
That's a very specific question.
Yeah,
that requires a lot of thinking. I feel.
I feel like what's my favorite song? Then I have to like decide a superpower that's like related to that song. That's a lot of thinking.
Oh man,
people like to think about their superpowers, huh?
Yeah.
What'd you say yours was?
Mine would be like Danny Phantom type shit.
Right, to
go through walls. Phase through stuff and be invisible.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
I'd be like the ultimate spy.
Would you?
Yeah.
Okay.
You go up to the president and be like, hey, I need just give me some money. Yeah. Actually, I wouldn't even need to take a job, I guess. I could just rob banks and invisible.
Yeah, that sounds...
Not that I would. I'm a nice person.
Yeah. You can take care of that. Meanwhile, I think my superpower is going to be like to bring like calm to people.
Like a therapist?
No, not like a therapist, because therapists actually stress you out sometimes. Just like feeling a calm. That'd be kind of cool.
To calm everybody down?
No, just feeling a peace around them. I like that. Then you can be like nice to your friends.
That's a tad lame.
No, I like it.
No, that's not a superpower though. That's like just being convincing.
No, it's not.
Yeah, just like, hey, calm down, and be like,
no, you can't just tell, because sometimes you can't just calm down. I don't know. You can't just tell people that.
I would go for a proper superpower, but that's just me.
Well, you're one of those nerdy people.
Yeah.
Welcome to the dark side. Thank you, Casey. I feel like I've always been on the dark side, but, that's another story. Do you plan to talk about other topics outside of social and sex plus? Yeah. Wait, social? Because I'm pretty sure most of it is social. Unless we're talking like science videos or something, in which case...
Yeah, like what chemical bonds are... Like BuzzFeed's top 5 list of chemical bonds, number 4.
Top 5 chemical bonds!
Yeah, you won't believe
what a
number
fucking
4.
Video idea.
You won't believe number 4.
Oh, God. Yeah, so, I don't know. I'm just going to talk about whatever, Jester. I think a lot of this stuff around, like, feminism and sex ed, and... dialogue as well, just like how we talk about things. I feel like that's a conversation worth having. Thanks for the question. Bryson Snowden asks, just out of curiosity, what are some prominent topics you mostly agree and disagree on? Broad or specific? I assume you mean Chris and I.
Yeah, he's probably talking about us. I don't know.
Prominent topics we agree on would be most...
I feel like we agree on most things, just we have a different interpretation of different things.
Yeah, I feel like we get into semantic arguments a lot.
I feel like a lot of
what words mean.
Well, my thing is, it's like my big focus personally is on language, because I think having a mutual understanding of language and agreeing on what words mean is kind of important for us to be able to communicate with each other. Mm-hmm. And once that starts to break down, once you start defining really important concepts like racism and sexism differently than each other, mm-hmm. then communication breaks down and you can't really have a productive discussion. So I feel like a lot of any disagreement that we have isn't necessarily on the base of the issue or the concept. It's really just kind of how we communicate it. Yeah.
I'd say that's accurate. And I think that is, like, not just us, but that's, like, a broader thing. You know, because a lot of these conversations, like the gender one I'm in the middle of right now, it's all about the words. Like, how people are using the words. A lot of it is. Right, you know? Exactly. Well, it's like the only two genders stuff, which was my last video. You should watch it if you haven't. Yeah. But basically, I think it's important to, like, define terms. And I guess we do a lot of that. I also think we disagree on immigration stuff pretty strongly. Yeah.
Strongly?
Yeah, I feel like that's the one thing we've gone back and forth on a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel like I'm pretty lenient.
Well, I just feel like you're more, or about, like, the refugee crisis and stuff.
Right.
You have more of a cautious approach, I would, like,
yeah.
You know.
I think for me, it's like a bit of a pragmatism thing. Like, I'm more worried about how it affects everything as opposed to, like, the moral argument of how it affects a certain group.
Right.
Like, 'cause it's not like an individual thing in its own pocket.
Yeah.
So that's like a whole...
Yeah, it's the whole thing. But we have different feelings on that one. Crip Lord says, lazy, I am in a wheelchair and nothing pisses me off more than people refusing to use the term cripple. It's patronizing as hell. Chris, go right ahead. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be patronizing. I just, I'm trying to use, like, the right words, I don't know.
That's the thing. This is the thing. This is exactly what I was talking about.
I know.
No. It's not necessarily that, like, oh, he did it so it's right. It's that literally everybody has a problem with some way you're going to say something. I know. So you might as well just say what you're going to say.
Well, it's not that I'm not saying what I want to say. It's just that I want to be considerate. I don't think that the onus is on people need to be, like, really sensitive or whatever. Like, I don't think it's a moral thing. It's just me personally. That's how I prefer to conduct myself.
I'm crippled. My eyes don't work.
That's true. We're both blind. Lacey, very glad you've grown. Can you give your thoughts now on your tweets, your reactions you put out during the election, and the results? People have, like, asked me this so many times.
I mean, I still give you.
I know, you still give me some shit about it. Honestly, at this point, it's just funny to see that people still, like, care so much about it.
It is pretty funny. I will say, like, the people demand... I get that not everybody thinks the way I do about, like, apologies and all that. But the people demanding an apology for Lacey's, like, Twitter thing, to me, it's like, why are you butthurt? Because people demand apologies from me all the time for things that it's like... Too.
Because it wasn't even directed at anyone particularly. It was directed at, like, at white people.
Well, you did say, like, white America.
Yeah.
But even so, it's like...
So, but, like, that's such a, like, non-personal thing. It's, like, referring to a huge... It's like, you're talking about, like, 300 million people, and you're like, I'm gonna feel personally offended by this.
It's kind of like saying screw humans.
Yeah, it's just like, why is that such a...
I get why people are offended by it, but at the same time, it's like, to demand an apology seems kind of antithetical to everything that I would stand for. Like, nobody owes anybody an apology.
For saying things.
For saying things. I don't think... For words or for tweets. Like, they don't...
Unless you regret it. Like, if you really regret it, then people should apologize. But, people have asked me to apologize for those tweets, and I'm not going to, and I'm not going to take them down.
No, because the thing is, like, if you give people an inch, they'll take a mile. I apologize...
Not only that, but I stand by it.
But that's my thing. Like, when I apologized to Kat... Right, I apologized to Kat. I was like, "Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean any of that." I did it on Twitter because that was the best way to do it at that point. Mm-hmm. But she blocks me, so I was like, "All right, well."
She blocked you after you apologized?
She blocked me after I apologized to her because I was able to see her thing, and then I tweeted to her. I said, "I'm sorry," or like, I said it in, like, a more, like, scholarly way. I said, like, a very scholarly apology. I said my apologies, and then she blocked me, and then went on a tirade for 7.5 hours every day. For like a week and a half. So,
Oh, Oh God, it's too good. Rational disconnect. I think that reaching out to anti-fems is good, but do you think giving people a pass and ignoring shitty things that people have said and done is a good idea? I think that's a fair question, and I don't think that I've given anyone a pass or ignored the shitty things that they've said and done. In fact, if you look at any of my public exchanges with people, it's pretty much me constantly disagreeing with them. But I do so in a way, I hope to do so in a way that is, hearing out what they have to say. Hearing out why maybe I feel like someone said something shitty, but they don't feel like it was a shitty thing to say. Kind of like we were just talking about with the language that people use.
Right.
So, I think there's that whole aspect of it as well. But, the idea here is not to give anyone a pass or to ignore things. However, I do feel like there's a degree of just sort of needing to let bygones be bygones and let the past be the past. Because, look, we've all been, uploading things on YouTube forever, and we could just go through, a huge, catalog of things we're mad about. If we went through everything that they thought I said that was shitty and everything that I think they've said that's shitty. It's almost like, let's just start with a blank slate and we'll take it from here, Well,
also,
it's just sort of a pragmatic approach, I think, to the online dialogue stuff.
But it's also, people, a lot of us have been on YouTube for a long time. Some of us going on 10 years, you know? And it's people change over the course of time. Yeah. And it's just because somebody made, a really shitty video a long time ago doesn't necessarily mean that reflects upon them now. Yeah. Especially because, again, this is a video. This isn't these aren't I murdered somebody. You know?
Yeah.
These are just people with opinions.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's saying,
no, I understand.
Why are you giving a pass for murder, Laci?
No, but what I'm saying is, just because you might not approve of people's opinions doesn't mean that they don't exist. And in a lot of cases, including some of the more divisive stuff about gender, right?
Yeah.
The the people who disagree with the stuff that's being pushed out, I feel make up the majority of people, or at least the majority of people probably don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
So you're going to have that discussion at some point.
That's true.
If you're going to convince anyone.
That's a good point.
You got to have that conversation.
There's got to be a foundation for this conversation, right?
Yeah.
All the people that are coming into it.
You can't dismiss.
Yeah, that's a great question. Ingy Bingy 2000. Thanks for the how do I do that?
Holy shit.
That was scary. Okay, there it is. Okay, serious question. Where do you see the line between criticism, harassment, and just run-of-the-mill assholes on the internet? I'm still figuring that all out. I don't know if I feel comfortable trying to explain it because people have misquoted me so often. And kind of taken what I'm saying out of context or what I mean. They're, taking it to mean something that I don't. But I'm just going to harken back to the first video that I posted, which was sort of about the censorship stuff and this idea that we should shut down speech that is hurtful or offensive. And I don't see that as harassment. I think that's one of the things that I've had to hit home again and again. I don't think saying offensive things is the same thing as harassment. And I think that that's actually a more pro-survivor, pro-feminist way of looking at this issue, because otherwise we're painting harassment with such a broad stroke that when we're talking about more egregious instances of it, like workplace harassment or, street harassment. At the time I was on BART in San Francisco and a guy decides to start jerking off in the subway next to me, sexual harassment stuff. I feel like it makes it seem less serious if we say, oh, someone said a thing I disagree with, that's inflammatory or whatever, and that's, harassment or
right.
On the internet or in person. I also think on the harassment thing online, it's a complicated issue because my impression is that a lot of people do, YouTubers are making content, antis are making content. Sometimes it's inflammatory, sometimes it's not. And they don't really have a whole lot of say over what their audience does. I think there are ways to mitigate it. Like I said, I think people should call it out. And I think that, if your audience is doing shitty things, maybe your rhetoric is a little too intense or something. I don't know. There are ways to minimize it, maybe. But overall, it's not something that we can control. As a YouTuber, it's what am I supposed to do if people start going out every time I respond to someone? And I think that's, the only thing I can think of to do is make sure my rhetoric is kind and that I'm, making sure I verbally reinforce, the type of dialogue that I want my community to have, the type of exchanges that I want my online community to have. And I think more online communities should do that. TJ Landry. Thanks for the 10, TJ. Love what you're doing. Don't let what people say get to you. You're a good person with a good heart. Your 2-part video on Twitter about Sarah and choking me up. We need more of this desperately. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate that. I do a lot. Bloomington Bear. Hey, Lacey. Gaylord, love your channel too. You're Gaylord?
I don't know, I guess.
Okay, you are now. How did you enjoy VidCon, and what did you take away from it on a socio-political level? Oh, God. VidCon, I don't even know where to begin with that mess.
That was a lot.
It was a lot. So, just a little context here. I have gone to VidCon for many years. And in the beginning, I went and I wasn't an invited creator. I just had my own meetups outside, kind of like Chris did this time, and just did more of the VidCon experience. It was more for me, actually. I was able to set my own schedule and everything. And then later on, I started doing the more formalized stuff with VidCon, which, opened up my opportunities to interact with the community. So that, is really good for community building, doing the panels and stuff. But this last year, I was scheduled to be out of the country. So I told VidCon I wouldn't be able to make it this year. And that sort of created an interesting window of opportunity given some of the stuff that I have been talking about online lately, and that all of the antis decided to come to VidCon this year. So if you're not familiar with the backstory, that's kind of what happened, and I met a lot of the antis, not all of them.
What?
At VidCon.
I feel like most of the big ones.
The big ones. Yeah, I think I've met, most of the figureheads in the community, and a lot of people who just enjoy that kind of content and stuff. And it was really fucking fun.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was really fun. I had a really good time. And I don't know, I really enjoyed that weekend. It was a little bit stressful. There were a few things that happened that were a little bit stressful.
There were a few things that happened that probably we don't want to really talk about at all.
Yeah.
But
well, I'm down to talk about it.
Well, I mean, I feel like everybody's beating that horse. If you saw the Blair stream, you probably get it. But
well, that's not what I was thinking of.
That's what I was thinking of, because it sticks out to me like a sore thumb.
Yeah, so that was just someone came in a room. We were hanging out with some people in a room, and someone none of us knew came up and recorded it, and it was just sort of a weird situation. I do want to say this though: if you know about the crazy hair stuff, please don't be mean to her. Yeah, don't pile on her. Maybe she definitely overstepped her boundaries. And I feel really uncomfortable with what happened. But I hope that people are still able to, not pile on her.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
I don't know. I just get worried anytime there's a little bit of anger and outrage whipped up that the person who's on the receiving end of it will not handle it very well. Especially someone who's not rehearsed, isn't a YouTube, a bigger YouTuber, doesn't have as much experience with pylons and handling. I don't know. I guess everyone's got to learn at some point.
But it was a ton of fun. VidCon was great.
It was great. Yeah. The other thing that happened was the Sargon and Anita thing, and I really feel like this got so blown out of proportion. Do you think you don't agree?
I do think it got blown out of proportion.
It's just whoa, what the fuck? What the fuck happened? I don't know. My feeling on it is that there are legitimate grievances on both sides of this issue. I sit closer to Anita in this sort of in the sort of context and interpretation of the situation at VidCon.
Right.
Because what I do is very similar to Anita. Now Anita has I would say had much more harassment hurled at her. Maybe. I've had a lot too. But I can sympathize with where Anita comes from on that side of things. And you guys saw my Twitter, I forgave Sargon and I've been talking to him, but that took a lot of working up to get to that point. And I think that, I would have felt a little bit nervous. I don't think I would have called people names. Or gone off on a tangent and attacked them.
She objectively messed up.
Well, here's the thing though, we can't sort of I just feel there was probably a moment and she was upset. And I would be upset too, and different people handle that upset differently. You know, I wouldn't handle it like that. I personally would probably just sort of ignore the fact that he was there and just do my thing. that's how I would handle it. But different people handle it differently, and I don't know.
Right, but I mean, just like on a pure rules-based level.
On a professionalism level,
not a good way to go about it.
On a professionalism level, it was pretty bad.
Now, look, I was obviously there, so I saw the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, the whole internet saw the whole thing.
I know, but it was really... I did not think it would blow up to the degree that it did, because it was such a non-event. Like, I thought, like, okay, Anita freaked out. That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
To me, like, I thought it was funny. And then I thought that was where it was going to end. I didn't know Sargon was then going to, like, petition Hank Green. I thought that was a bit much.
That was definitely too much. What the hell?
I think I told him in the chat, I was like, this is a bit much.
Yeah.
I think we could have left it alone at, like, Anita making herself look a little funny.
Yeah.
And then just left it.
I would agree with that.
I think that would have been the best.
I would agree.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just keep the drama to a minimum. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Let's keep it to a minimum. But anyways, VidCon, it was really fun meeting those of you that I met there. It was a really good time. And, we'll do it up again next year. Should be interesting. We'll see what's happening next year. Oh, God.
I'm so excited.
I don't want to think about that.
I'm so
All right. Oh, yay. Carolyn, hi Lacey, longtime non-religious fan from Utah. I was wondering what your thoughts on Mormons and their views on sexuality are. Much love. Oh, Carolyn, don't even get me started.
You should do a whole video on that.
Yeah, I have a lot to say about it, but my a lot of my pain in my past and shame around my sexuality comes from Mormonism, I would say. Our culture is pretty sex negative too, but I feel like I had an exceptionally shamey experience in the Mormon church. And it made me feel bad about my body. It made me feel bad about, my vagina was, really scary and terrible, and, sex made me a really horrible person, or, masturbating. This was before I was even thinking about sex. I was just, masturbating to, the cute boy at school when I'm, 12 or 13, just, innocent stuff, and I feel like Mormonism really did a number on me in that sense. And I wish... I always feel in tension about the faith community stuff, because I do think faith communities can offer a lot to people's lives, and it can offer, a lot. It's good to have that kind of community around shared values, but I wish that the values around sexuality and, other things, but sexuality particularly, were healthier, because then those communities would actually do good by people. One church that is doing it well, though, I will say, is the Unitarian Universalists. I like to go to that church sometimes.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, they're this. It's like a secular church. It's kind of like, well, God is whatever you want God to be.
Yeah, all right.
But listen, they have this really robust, comprehensive sex ed curriculum that kids in the church can get at church.
Yeah, because it's not religious.
Yeah, but it's fucking. Isn't that fucking awesome?
I just think a non-religious church
cool.
is weird. Personally, I just think it's a little odd.
Yeah, well, it's not really a church. It is a church, but it's like a spiritual place.
Okay, so it's I
don't know. It's spirituality.
It's like Woodstock.
Get out of here. Yo, seriously, be careful on 4chan. Hi, Wendy, by the way. My first experience on pole was seeing raw shooting footage. Okay.
Yeah, it's...
Really? You said it was just people saying things.
Well, it's 4chan. It's untamed. It's the wild, wild, wild west.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for the heads up. I'd probably be really upset if I saw something like that. Clay, thank you for engaging the opposition. Thank you, Clay. Appreciate that. Carly, how does it feel to be red-pilled, maybe? Look, nothing has changed.
There's no difference. Nothing has changed.
It's literally just the metaphor that I used to sort of describe my experience of talking about this publicly. But privately... nothing. I've held these views for a long time.
When we were initially when we were talking the first time, it was the same exact viewpoint. Yeah. I didn't change anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
weird that's been the perception.
Yeah, it is an interesting perspective. It's very interesting. I feel like people sort of pegged me into a symbol. If you've watched my stuff, I feel like none of this is particularly... Some of it, I guess, is surprising. I'd say the next video that I'm about to post is probably the most surprising, but in the context of my work. But everything else, I don't know.
I don't know. It's amusing to me that there have been a lot of people on the the social justice side, however you want to put that, who have attributed your apparent change to me.
Yes.
That's
that
very
really
interesting.
makes me mad.
It's hilarious to me.
Why do you think they're doing that?
I don't know. Maybe it's because they're sexist. And they don't think the only way a woman can change her mind is if a man makes her.
Do you really think that?
No, I don't think so. I
Do you think there's any sexism in it?
With that whole thing?
Yeah.
Maybe, probably.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes up the majority. I think most of it is just like, oh, you're talking to the enemy, and I don't like that. I think it's very just basic tribalism.
No, but I mean about, like, Chris is the person that changed your opinions then.
Oh, no, I think they're trying to... I think in their eyes, they're trying to make it, like, redeemable. Like, oh, it's not her fault. It's this demon. It's this little Puerto Rican demon.
That's interesting.
Who's, I don't know.
You are a Puerto Rican demon.
Am I?
Yeah.
Is that... Well, it's flattering. Thanks. Thanks so much.
Yeah, I just don't understand, like... I don't understand where the perception comes from. Well, I guess I do understand. Like, we decided to talk about it publicly, that we were dating publicly, right after. Right after the first video.
Well,
not right after, but shortly after.
Specifically right after everybody who were your friends dumped that info to everybody else.
Yeah. Don't talk,
I'm not going to name names.
All right. Yeah, let's keep things under wraps here.
But, probably would have been a lot more under wraps otherwise.
Well, I don't really care about that. It's just like the timing was unfortunate. Right. But, I do feel like there is a little bit of sexism in that sentiment. Like, I think most of it's just fucking around. But I think there is sort of this willingness to accept, like, be more accepting of the fact that you were influencing me. Like, no one thinks I'm influencing you, It's all about how you're influencing me.
Well, somebody did bring up the point that you're the one who came out with the video.
Yeah, that's true.
And I didn't, which is a fair point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But I think, I don't know. I think, in a number of ways, she's kind of swayed me a little bit.
What?
Yeah, a little bit.
On what?
I haven't been swayed, but I understand the concepts a little better. Like, when we were talking about rape culture, it's like, okay, I get that. I still kind of...
the planet's working.
I still kind of disagree with the notion.
Yeah.
But I get the... Because there's this thing that happens with online discourse where, like, something will be defined in academia, and then it will trickle down to layman's. Yes. And then a lot of layman's will interpret it in a way. Like, what I've noticed a lot is that the general concept of... rape culture as an example. I'm not going to get into what it means, but essentially it means one thing, and then pop feminists will take it, and then they'll make a video about what they think it means. And then...
Or their interpretation of
what it means, and it's way off. And then we'll see it.
Or you disagree with it.
People like me will see it, and then they'll be like, that doesn't make any sense. So we'll debunk that.
Yeah.
Or we'll make fun of that idea because it's not actually representative of the initial one. Mm-hmm. And then there'll be like a huge misunderstanding that it's like, I feel like that's a lot of what it is. Yeah. I still disagree with it.
Yeah.
I still think it's a very poorly named concept. But at the end of the day, I feel like there are conversations being had about two very separate things.
Right.
In a lot of cases.
Right. I would agree with that. I'm going to have a video on that at some point. Okay, Sammy. Thanks, Sammy. First off, I think a lot of your views are really good and learned a lot from you, but my question, in your point of view, is how can the world be saved? Oh, Sammy. To have such hope.
Thimblewinter.
Yeah, pretty much. Brian Anderson. Hello. Hi. I have a fetish. I love the sound of a woman's heartbeat. Have you ever heard of this before? No, I haven't. I've heard of people liking the sound of heartbeats. I could see how it'd be reassuring. There's something, there's something woomy about it. But, yeah, I haven't heard of it. I haven't heard of a lot of stuff, though. There's a lot in the world. 10 what my, thanks for the 20. Please make a video on reading Poll on 4chan. Well, now I'm scared that I'm going to face death.
No, you'll be fine.
I'll be fine?
You'll probably be okay.
I'm scared.
The thing is, it's like, I'm, a friend of mine his name's Zach. A lot of people know him as Psychic Pebbles. On the internet, he's an animator. And every time I go over to his house, it's like, hey, do you ever see that video of the dude getting shot up in Brazil? Every time I go to his house, he's obsessed with, like watching people die.
Really?
Yeah, it's it's interesting that, like, you see it and, like, oh, there goes a life. It's weirdly, I think that's probably why I'm so paranoid.
That was really worrying.
He's fine. He's a totally normally
Is he
adjusted.
okay?
Yeah, he's a totally normally adjusted person.
Are you
He's
sure?
Yeah. It's like, you ever see like videos of people like falling and breaking their arms, and it's like you watch it because it's like, what the hell? That's not what an arm is supposed to look like.
I don't watch that, so it freaks me.
Well, I don't actively seek it out, but when you see it happen, you just kind of lock onto it because it's like, what?
Right. It's like a train wreck.
It's like a train wreck.
But death,
death in particular,
like the idea of watching people die,
it's not fun. It's not fun.
It's just that disturbs me.
It's morbid curiosity. Somebody in the chat put it. Yeah.
Right.
It's just like a morbid fascination with it, like how fragile life is.
Yeah.
It's terrifying, and it's why I look both ways before crossing every street 40 times before I cross it.
Yeah.
Because I'm incredibly paranoid.
Are you?
Yeah.
About dying?
About just anything. You know, you just see videos like, oh, hey, look, there goes a plane just spiraling down into a town all of a sudden, and then like, aha, wow.
I feel like watching those kind of videos can't be good for that fear. Like, it makes it feel more imminent than it is.
No, listen, it makes you prepared.
I don't think so.
That's why I sleep with my shoes on. In case, because like, I know if like, oh shit, something's gone, I'm going to be the first person out of that building because I got my shoes on.
I've just realized where a lot of your paranoia comes from.
That's probably fair.
Nacho Bass says, Lacey, are you musical in any way? Chris, have you thought of releasing Social Justice the Musical as one album EP?
No.
Well, there's that. Musical, yeah, I play piano, and I grew up singing. My mom is a music teacher. It's really cute. My family's very musical. My little brother plays the drums. Yeah. Elfi relaxes. Could you give Chris a big smoochie for good vibes? No. I don't think we're gonna do the PDA thing.
No. Absolutely.
Yeah. It feels weird.
I don't want it in GIF form.
That's the point. Yeah.
Because there will be GIFs otherwise.
There will be GIFs. That's true. Okay. The Mad King, ask Chris about Kekistan.
You know what it is.
What's that?
Kekistan.
What's a kek?
What's a kek? What is kek? It was a joke. And then it spiraled into a real thing, like everything on the godforsaken internet.
He gets so mad.
It's just...
Chris is like an angry grandpa.
I'm
not.
So
angry about the children on the internet. It's a joke!
It was a joke, and then it spiraled into this real thing, and it's like, it's just frustrating.
He got so mad about this, too.
Yeah.
His friend, like, made a cartoon, and it became really popular. Chris is so pissed about it still. Just angry. Okay, Headphone Malone says, Lacey, can you say, praise Kek, Pepe is with me at all times?
Right, I guess you did.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you, Headphone Malone. Pisces Gal says, feminism has been hijacked by chicks who can't survive in the real world, so they blame men. Real feminists accept themselves and their responsibilities while standing up for others. Well, there's a lot of, like, loaded statements there. But I feel like there's probably people who fit that description.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that there's just sort of a tension amongst leftism period right now. Like there's a lot of turbulence about the direction to take things and sort of about what are social justice values and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know how else to comment on that.
Yeah.
I think there will be a lot more talk about those things in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
Daniel Placentia says it's called an empath. It is a superpower. Ha-ha!
What?
Yeah. No, an empath would be like feeling what people feel, right?
Well, that's probably like a Marvel term.
Oh.
Like something out of X-Men or something.
Okay.
But like an empath.
That's interesting.
I don't believe it.
We're gonna Google
$2 is not enough to convince me that it is. That it's real.
Well, you should not be convinced by dollar amounts, but by your personal integrity.
Are you sure?
Your personal integrity. We aren't the U.S. government. The power of giving people instant, powerful, multiple orgasms. Oh, multiple. Because he can't keep on arguing during the... that would be an interesting true. One. Like I said, I really do think world peace will come when everyone comes at once. Like, think about it. Like, if everyone orgasms at once, there can't be any problems happening.
No, I mean...
those who are able to
for, like,
orgasm.
a brief moment.
Yeah.
And then everybody will be, like, incredibly...
relaxed.
No. Because afterwards, everybody will be incredibly removed from their desire to have sex because they've just had it. So they'll be like, okay, let's rule the world. So everybody comes to a sociopathic conclusion at the same time because they've all had their sexual needs fulfilled.
I can't believe you just took it there.
I like to take it.
You went from, like, nice orgasms to, like, sociopathic takeover.
Well, I mean, you know.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
There needs to be a trial run.
Right. Okay. Jenny Kiss says, what were your feelings on the crazy hair dogpiling? I don't like dogpiling.
Don't dogpile.
Don't dogpile. It makes me so nervous.
This is actually, like, a big reason why I changed up. Like, there was a point in my channel where I started growing a lot, and I realized that I didn't like responding to individuals, you know? Yeah. Because individuals, it started to become like, oh, I got this kind of big following. Yeah. So I started to stick with, like, I started to focus more on, like, companies. Mm-hmm. Like MTV or, like, the Comedy Central show. Or, like, BuzzFeed.
Yeah,
or, like,
that's
things
true.
like that.
Keep it from being so personal.
Keep it from, like, a personal thing.
Yeah.
The only time I'll break that rule is if people are, like, particularly idiotic. Right. But even then, it's like I keep it to a minimum. Yeah. Which I think most people
I like that about your channel, and I think that was something I was really relieved to find, is that you hadn't done a bunch of attacky videos toward people, because those make me really uncomfortable.
I think in the beginning it was a little bit like that, when I had, like, a very small viewer base.
Sure, but then it got the stuff I've seen is not like that as much sometimes.
I think the older you go, the more detached from, like, a sense of power it is. Because it's like, obviously, the audience is basically, you just think you're another schmuck on the internet. Yeah. But then you realize, like, oh, okay, I have pull.
Yeah, should be responsible.
Yeah, be responsible with it.
That's good of you. Pollock Talks says, can you say happy birthday to my friend Negro? You guys are not going to catch me into using these words.
That's so good.
No. You guys, don't do that to me.
You almost fell for it.
I know. I had to read it first.
You had to read it in your head first.
Yeah. Okay. What is your opinion of Anita Sarkeesian, Feminist Frequency, or Everyday Feminist? There's a lot of things to have opinions on. I don't want to give opinions on people. I will say that, the organizations have done good work. I also feel that everyday feminism in particular is, I'm not a fan. Let's just say I'm not a fan. Fuck off, Andrew. Thanks, Janice. Thanks, message retracted. What are these?
Maybe they're filtered. Like, maybe they say some bad stuff.
But it says retracted.
Retracted. It might have gone through and then filtered out. I don't know. Maybe they pulled it.
Okay. Now
Mike Tyson.jpg.
Oh, goodness. Fox says, yeah, probably everyone in this chat wants to see you guys in a live stream with Sargon and Bering. It would probably be really civil and interesting to listen to. Still think Chris should take off shirt. You're objectifying him. Are you feeling objectified?
I'm feeling very objectified, and it's totally fine.
Yeah? You consent to it?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. All right.
I'm fine. I'm all right with it.
We'll let him keep bothering you then. Yes, I think streaming with them would be interesting as well. It's really just going to be based on the topic in terms of who I talk to and what I think they can bring to the table. So for the first round of talks, probably won't talk to either of those two. But there are a lot of other topics in the pipeline after the two gender stuff, which I think there'll be better fits on, potentially. Alexander Podwells. What's your current stance on Anita? Yeah, a lot of people... Yeah.
We kind of went over it.
Yeah. A little bit. I feel like I've said what I want to say about it. Yeah. What more can I say than that? Okay. I have to practice reading these in my head first. Mydrin Emery says, treat others as how you would like to be treated. Simple words to live by. Also, not #proud to be. I am more than my sexual attraction, not your token. That's an interesting take. The proud to be was the YouTube video of people.
That was the video that I did with I'm Alex. The comments.
Right. Okay. Okay, well, I don't think everyone needs to be proud to be.
Right.
You can choose the level of pride you wish to feel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's free, right? Free to feel how you feel.
Free to feel. Max says, have some gay money. Stop streaming so late. Thank you for the homosexual dollars. I will stop streaming so late. In the future, I'll do this earlier. Today, I had like some stuff to do, so I had to do it later. Sorry. Big Bird. Regarding the red pill on men's rights and abortion, what I took away from that was they want a way for men to opt out of legal responsibility if they don't want it. What is your opinion? I think that if you want to opt out of legal responsibility, then you have to use a condom, because then you won't get pregnant. Nini Nanomus says, I used to think you was Satan. I'm sorry for judging. Wow.
That's an interesting
Thank you
take.
so much. I appreciate that, though. I am slightly Satan, so there's also that.
Why is it pulling up so much?
Well, I lost the thing. It's up here.
Holy shit.
Oh, fuck. There we go. Jake says, What's that?
It's like a triggered scream.
Oh, God.
Yeah. It's from like I don't know explicitly what it's from, but I associate it with the videos from the Trump inauguration. That kid getting on his knees, screaming no like Darth Vader.
It was an emotional time.
I was totally feelingless.
I know. I had a lot of feelings. I also felt very suicidal around that time, so it just didn't help anything.
Yeah, that's probably not a good fit.
It's not a good fit.
But I'll say that like I had accepted that victory like when he won when Hillary won the nomination.
Yeah.
Like I knew from that moment that like, all right, we're gonna have a President Donald Trump. All right, that sucks.
Yeah. I thought you loved Trump, babe. I thought that was,
I'm a big fan of
your
Trump.
man. I thought he was your man.
That's why there's so many...
You're a top Trump supporter, according to some random gossip magazine that writes about you.
Yeah.
I love Trump. I read that you actually campaigned for Trump.
Did I?
Yeah, on your YouTube channel.
That's interesting.
You did ads for him.
That must have been immediately after I voted for Bernie in the primary and then abstained from the election.
Well, I think, he probably bought your loyalty. He's got a lot of money, that Trump.
He does have a lot of money. That's true.
Bryson Snowden says, not looking for spoilers, but what are some sex ed topics you plan on covering in the near future? Do you take suggestions? I do take suggestions. I don't want to say any yet because those are sort of in the works right now, since I'm working on this particular thing, the dialogue stuff. But if you have a suggestion, you can always send it to me. You can always email it to me through my website, or you can tweet me, although I don't always see those. I always see the emails, though. That's the best way to send a suggestion. Dark Mortal says, would you say Q&A streams are the best way to monetize YouTube at the moment, and what do you think of Crash Bandicoot Remastered? I don't play that. He does. The Q&A streams, I don't really know. This is the first one I've got, and you guys are very generous. So thanks for the help. Yeah, because as you all know, Apocalypse is fucking terrible, and like nobody's able to really make money off of their channels as much anymore. Mine dropped by 80%, but I feel lucky in that I didn't ever rely on that really for, putting a roof over my head, even though I will now that I'm gonna lose every job that I've had. Yeah, so I think this is a good way to monetize. I think like direct fan support absolutely helps creators right now, because a lot of people don't have other means, like, they're used to being able to just put out their videos and make videos for you, and now people have to do more than just the videos. So yeah, it depends on the person.
This whole thing is like I took like an 80% cut too.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Just the one stream that I did was insane.
Yeah.
Like the amount of, just how much it like got everything. Like the single stream that I did helped put it back to what it used to be before the end. Right.
So that's putting you back on track.
Yeah, in moderation, if used sparingly, like once a month streams would do wonders.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, or some people do it more.
Also, Crash is fantastic.
There you go. Charlie says, can you talk about sex with partners with a low libido? Also, how to relearn good sexual habits from inexperience or bad porn, looking to make sex happier. Oh dear. Charlie, I feel like that's something that you and I could probably talk about for, a few hours. I'm trying to think of if there's anything that's snippy that I can give you. Or resources. Yeah, I mean, the sexual habit stuff with the porn is... I do actually have a couple of videos on it. Look at my porn addiction videos. I do talk about, like, creating healthier habits with porn in that. Yeah. Sorry I can't give you more. Email me, if you want to talk more. Boney256 says, what's the difference between egalitarianism and feminism in your opinion? Semantics.
Well,
disagree?
Yeah. Of course.
Oh, let's hear it.
They're different things.
Are they?
Yeah.
How?
Because one has an entire movement associated with it, and the other one is just like the egalitarianism is the concept, right? Behind feminism.
Okay.
But feminism has an ideology attached to it, which means it has like crazy people attached to it. There's no like extreme egalitarians,
I don't think I could argue at this point.
I guess there are. Well,
there are, of course, going to be like
there are
some crazy people.
There are technically extreme egalitarians in the sense that like everything must be equal always for everything and under every circumstance.
Right.
But I don't think those people are given much credence.
Okay.
Yeah. Or at least not as much. There's no everyday egalitarianism. I'll put it that way.
Huh. That's an interesting point. Thanks for sharing your opinion.
Yeah.
Dead hero or alive villain, 1019 says, when is the next content cop?
I can't believe.
You can forgive without forgetting. True. You're trending on the live tab. Cool. I think there's a slow mode for chat. Wow, this was such an informative 2 lines.
Yeah, wow.
I feel like this was very productive, Dead Hero. There is a slow mode.
Right, yeah, just enable that then.
It's limit chat posts to every 60 seconds per person. Do I want to impose that rule?
I mean...
Let's have a vote.
You know what? Let's just... I mean, the chat, in fairness, we're really focusing on super chats.
We're getting through okay, when we come back to the chat after the super chats, then we'll do the slow mode so I can actually read it.
Yeah.
Good deal.
No. Chat's going.
Oh, God. We get a delayed response.
Yeah. What is it, a 15-second, 20-second delay?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Wait, are they saying yes, put it in slow mode? Okay.
All right,
but
put it in slow mode.
it seems like you're saying yes.
Put it in slow mode.
Okay.
Come on.
I will be the chat dictator. Wait, where is it again?
It's in the little thing. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Got him.
Oh, I can actually adjust how many seconds. I'll do 30 seconds.
There you go. Fixed.
Everything is compromise. This is how we solve problems. This
still
is
pretty
society.
freaking fast. There's just so many people in that it doesn't even matter if it's imposed.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Meme Misogyny, I think, is modding.
Oh, hey, memes. Good luck modding.
good luck modding this crisis center.
This is
what is this?
Okay, Gabby Grace says, recently I've been moving from SJW to opening my mind, and I love seeing a fellow feminist I've watched since I was 16 on the same journey. Much love.
That's cool.
Love you too, Gabby. Don't lose sight of your values. Of course, question all things. Have a good dialogue. I hope it works out for you.
Lose sight of your values. I have the exact opposite opinion. Lose sight of your values entirely. Forget your values. Become a robot. Feel nothing.
Chris, this is not the feel-good vibe I'm going for.
Oh, sorry. Love one another.
Oh, God. Lisa says, the fact you've opened a dialogue is almost the antithesis of wanted. I don't want to change your opinions. I just want you to listen to mine without shutting me down. I'll afford you the same respect. Yes, and I feel the same way, Lisa. To be fair, I don't feel like I ever did shut down anyone's opinions.
Yeah.
I I feel like that's been an unfair accusation that's made at me. Like, maybe, like, on Twitter, like, a couple times here and there, but, like, in the majority of my videos and my work, I don't feel like I didn't shut anyone down. However, I do feel like the people that I was affiliated with, before they all publicly shit on me, are shutting people down.
Yeah.
And that became uncomfortable because I know people associated me with their behavior, and I disagree strongly with how a lot of YouTube feminists behave. So
there's like a big thing with essentially grouping people together, and like what happens? Essentially, it's like what you do as an individual doesn't really matter because
it's like the tribalism.
You become it's
You're
like
part
a
of tribe.
You become like a just this receptacle for everybody else's bad shit that everybody else has done.
Yeah.
So like if Fran or somebody else uses a block bot and you don't, it doesn't matter because you're associated with people who use block bots.
Yeah, like Adam, your movie sucks. He was like, "Oh, I thought you." Maybe it wasn't Adam. It might have been someone else.
It was probably
someone else. Was like, I think it was Adam. Was like, "Oh, weren't you the one that blocked me?" Like, I had these conversations with people that think that I blocked them, and like, I have literally no one on my block list. Like, there was a app that like ran on my Twitter once, and it like blocked a few hundred people. Yeah. But on the whole, it's just like, where does this come from? You get associated and defined by your tribe, and I think that's something that has been an unexpected side effect of starting this endeavor. Is that like I get to be my own person now? Yeah. Like, I get to have my own thoughts and behaviors and opinions and be held accountable for those and not everyone else's in a sense.
People do that with me too. They'll say like, "Oh, I saw that video where you supported Trump."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?" Yeah. And then they won't link that video to me because it doesn't exist.
Right.
And it's like
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things like that. Like accusation, it's like, "Can I have the source, please?" Oh, another really great one. It's like me taking down people's videos. Some people still tweet me about this. Like, I've taken people's videos down. I'm like, please point me to one takedown notice with my name on it.
They'll point you to the roaming millennial thing.
But even that, I did not do any takedown.
No, I know you didn't.
Point me to the receipt where I took something down.
No, exactly.
Is what I'm saying. Because I've literally never reported anything. I've literally never had a DMCA. I don't even know how to do that.
So
it's just hilarious.
So what was the thing? It was you. I don't remember this story specifically. You went to Full Screen or a network manager asking them, like, is there a way to, like, what was it?
With the Roman millennial thing?
With the thumbnail thing.
Yeah. Okay. So my recollection of what happened. So I visited a school, and there are all these people that were copying my thumbnails.
Right.
And using them in other videos. And, like, the schools will click on it thinking it's my video.
Like copying exactly.
Copying them straight up. Clicking on them, and then, like, it's disruptive, and you've got, like, this person who's screaming at the camera about me.
Yeah.
In this classroom. And so, I was trying to ask YouTube about that, and people were sending me icons of things, and roaming millennials was not a copy paste, but it was just in sort of the category of, like, people who are using the likeness and the style, and I just wanted to ask YouTube, what are my options here?
Right.
Because you get a YouTube manager, and I just wanted to ask them what, I don't know. I didn't want anyone to have to remove anything. The idea wasn't like, can I go get these people banned?
So the idea
I want to get this video banned and reported and removed. Like, that wasn't the intent. The intent was, hey, I have like a business issue.
But you did. But that's right. So what I'm saying is, like, it wasn't you who did it. It was Full Screen or like the network.
So
that did it.
Anytime there's a takedown on a video that was Full Screen, or it belongs to someone else. Like, I've made videos that belong to a lot of other people too, right? Like the MTV stuff. Like, people think I own that. I don't own that. If MTV takes that down, that's not me.
I hadn't considered
that. That's MTV, There's a lot of things that, like, people attribute to me, and it's not my fault, and it's completely out of my control. So the way that I talked about the roaming millennial stuff, though, was, like, bad on Twitter, because I hadn't given, like, all the context. Like, there was no...
Yeah.
Anyways, it just got completely blown out of proportion, and I think that there are a few YouTubers who actively contributed to that in spite of knowing what was going on. And yeah, I mean, I wish I had talked about it differently on Twitter. But look, I never reported anyone. Like, I'm not going to apologize for anything because I didn't take anything down.
Yeah, if you didn't take anything down,
I didn't submit any copyright. I've never done that, and I never would. Like, in the whole time I've been on YouTube, I've literally never done that.
This is also a problem with a lot of networks, because a lot of networks will actually just straight up go on your behalf and take people if they use content that's under a
right. But I've never told my network to do any of that.
Right. No, they'll do it a lot. A lot of the bigger ones will do it just by themselves. I've seen that a lot.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, that's a whole other thing.
That is a whole other thing.
I don't know. It just the takedown stuff is so complicated. I feel like people have. All right. Sammy says, "Hey, I agree with a lot of your views. And my question is, on a larger scale of things, what do you think we should do to save the world as a whole?" Did we answer this one already?
What?
I think you said nuclear holocaust.
I didn't say that.
Didn't you say something morbid?
Not a nuclear holocaust.
I don't know. What did you say?
I said Fimbulwinter.
What the hell is that?
That's basically a nuclear.
Fuck out of here. Okay. Kumbala says, apologize for not answering my first question. I wanted to know. What question? I'm sorry. Once trans awareness is covered, what's next? Asexuality, maybe I'm asexual, by the way. My superpower is being a firm virgin. I'm not sure what's next for sure. I have talked about asexuality a lot on my channel, though. I have like 2 or 3 videos. So if you're looking for some content, I have made that on that topic. Lauren Agull says, can you guys talk more about how ridiculous and nasty the response was to Proud to Be? Also explain why pride exists to those who think it's unnecessary. It's so funny you asked this question. It's so funny.
We were talking about this like immediately before the live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
What? I did a video.
I feel like you should answer this. Like, what's up with the nasty response?
Well, I made a video with Alex making fun of the nasty response.
Okay.
That was the whole point of that video. It was because we were like, everybody was like, where's the Father's Day video, YouTube? And it's like, this isn't a Mother's Day video, idiot.
Okay, well, what about the pride thing, where you think nobody should have pride things?
My personal view of pride, right, is that pride is reserved for a personal accomplishment. And this is the same thing that I tell people who have like white pride or black pride or any kind of pride. It's like, listen, you don't inherit the accomplishments of people who came before you. You don't inherit the failures of people who came before you. You are your own individual person. So having pride in something that you did not personally achieve, to me, feels a little bizarre.
Okay.
Like, I would never want to take credit for the things that my father did, or similarly have some of the responsibility of any of the bad things that he did, or any of that. You know.
Yeah.
We're all individuals, and I think that's kind of the whole pride thing is just weird. It's weird. I don't personally understand it.
Okay.
I understand why.
Here's my counter. Continue.
Well, I understand like the idea is like in society that's typically or has been for a long time very not accepting.
Yeah.
That is the pride in kind of like a sense of like I'm proud that I overcame. Is that what it is?
I think that's part of it, but I think there's sort of there's a pride in when you're told that who you are is bad or wrong or shameful or dirty or deviant, as is the case for people who are LGBT, which includes me.
Right.
There is a sort of pride in overcoming that. And there's something empowering about being told and feeling connected to your community and saying, we're not going to be ashamed. We're not going to be scared. You know, there's nothing wrong with me. I think that that's where the pride comes from, and why it's important to sort of, for LGBT people to extend the hand, like with the Proud to Be video, to extend the hand to young folks who are struggling.
I thought
and they are part of a legacy, of overcoming homophobia and biphobia and stuff.
I thought the Proud to Be video itself was fine.
Yeah.
There was a video that they did similarly to that a long time ago that included things that I would argue are very not, how you say, I don't want to say not legitimate.
Like what?
But I will say not legitimate.
Like what?
Like people who genuinely think that they're like camels trapped in human bodies. And it's like, listen.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You don't remember this?
No.
They had a very similar Proud to Be thing. I can't remember when. It was like either a year or two ago. But it was a very similar format. It was almost the same video, to be honest. But this one was just focused on like just strict LGBT. But the previous one was like everything under that banner. And so they had gay people and trans people. And I was like, oh, this is nice, all right. But then included people like, I am on all levels except physical a wolf. or like people like those. And it's like, this kind of makes this whole video a bit of a joke. So that, like, that's my personal view on that thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how far you've delved into that, but like going back to the pride thing, right? You say that the pride is like just a way of overcoming some of the stuff people have painted a group as.
It's a feeling that you try to hold on to when you're being, shamed or having to fight for your rights.
So okay. Well, being shamed then, right? So being shamed is a big part of it. Well,
for me. I can't speak for everyone.
Right, well,
but for me, it's about, feeling like I'm not going to feel ashamed and, I'm not going to be pushed into a corner. I'm not going to be pushed around. I am deserving of respect and dignity, and my sexuality is my own.
But then would you say that, like, there's like, a lot of fuck white people articles?
Yeah.
And like that, and that's kind of like a big thing now. Would you say that white pride would be an apt response?
That's a good question. No.
Well, then...
Because I think the context is different.
Well, so if the context shifts, like in 30 years...
I think it would take a lot more than 30 years.
Well, let's say hypothetically, like in 30 years, it's been completely shifted.
I don't think it will be completely shifted.
But under the hypothetical situation
I don't think it can.
Under the hypothetical situation that it does,
okay.
Would it be acceptable then to be like, yeah, white pride?
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess that's what I'm saying. Like, I think part of the pride ridiculous. Stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's I just want to give you that's how I think about it.
The racial pride stuff is ridiculous, but the sexuality stuff is not ridiculous. Like I feel like overcoming struggle is what the theme is, and if we're talking about real struggle. Like real historical struggle, have white people collectively had a struggle that they had to overcome in society beyond people saying fuck white people.
Right.
Like, is that your fucking struggle?
No.
Because that doesn't deserve pride. You just click out of the fucking page. That's it.
But then you're dictating to people what deserves pride.
Overcoming struggle.
That could be a struggle to somebody. Our understanding of, or our perception of struggle is relative.
That's true. But I'm just saying, I'm talking about social struggles. Right. Large scale marginalization, not individual hurt feelings.
Okay. Well, I'm saying under the hypothetical situation that, let's say in, I don't know, 500 years or something.
Yeah.
The tables have turned drastically, and let's say it's the exact opposite situation.
If the tables have turned drastically and it's the exact opposite situation in 500 years, then fine, have pride.
I would say it's still.
I know, because you don't think anyone should have pride. Period. Because we should all hate ourselves.
I just think it's a consistency argument. I think we should all just be good people. I just think we should all just treat each other how
pride is
we should want to be treated, and then I think
okay. The people thing, it's not about being people. It's about overcoming shame.
I understand it. I don't agree with it.
You don't agree that I can feel pride?
No, I think you can feel pride. You can feel however you want. I'm not going to tell you how to feel.
Okay.
Yeah. That's entirely antithetical to how I think. You can feel however you want, and I can feel however I want.
Yeah. But
at the same time, it's I'm probably going to feel like I always associate pride with a personal accomplishment. And
that's fine, but in the LGBT community, a lot of those people associate it with,
That's fair.
Feeling okay. I feel like it's good for the kiddos. It's good for everyone.
Yeah,
but it's especially good for the kiddos. It's be proud of who you are,
Right. I would just say
and as adults, we set an example.
I would say keep an eye. Keep an eye on people who are
have too much pride.
Have too much pride.
That's fair. All right, Mr. Ghost says ignore all the edgelords on comments. Trolls. Will do.
They're fun.
Toad says it's encouraging to see people with significantly different ideologies form a successful complementary relationship. Did Grumlow bring you together? He did. He's always there. He's always there.
Grumlow brings everyone together. Dude, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Somebody gave this to me at VidCon personally. I was personally delivered this.
That's very special. Don't be so mad. She's so pissed.
It's upsetting.
Serendipity asks, could you source with other social justice warriors to make a video for how antis and SJWs should interface, like what Sargon should have done amidst the VidCon situation?
Before you go, there was a thing in the chat that said, how is it that I agree with both of you?
I don't think what we're saying is conflicting necessarily.
No.
It's just sort of a different perspective.
But that's a good indication of the kinds of disagreements
that happen.
Right?
Like,
it's
you
not
don't
like,
actually, like, to the bone disagree on
no,
things,
it's not like a massive, it's just like it really is like a language thing.
Yeah, a lot of it is. So serendipity, I don't want to tell people what to do is a thing. Like, I do sort of feel like shaking them and being like, don't do this stupid ass thing. Carl and Anita, what are you doing? You know, I kind of want to, like, shake them out of it. But I feel like it's not my place. Like, they're grown-ups. You know, they got to handle themselves. And at this point, I don't think anyone's taken any advice from me. Actually, that's not true. A few people are.
Yeah.
There are, you know, I'm starting to see the divide, interestingly, in, like, the people that I used to associate with and, like, have, you know, working relationships with. And, like, the antis and, like, the place that we all meet is, like, where are the reasonable people at? I'm, like, starting to see who those people are.
Yeah.
Maybe those people and I could work together on something. I don't know. The dialogue is important.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha Lucy says, very important question. Ass or tits?
This is a question for you.
I don't like this question.
No.
It's objectifying. It's like, which part of your body am I going to reduce you to? You know?
No, it's just like, what's your favorite part of this movie?
Am I a movie? No,
but I'm saying, like, you know, is a movie an object?
I mean, that's don't ask me these stupid questions.
It's an interesting question. Are movies objects?
No, it's not the same.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, it's like, I don't know, it's like, you're reading too much into it, like a very, very...
No, but I know. But, like, the ass or tits thing, I feel like it's, like, a common trope.
It is a meme question. It's
no,
not like
way before,
question.
though. Like, way before, like, when I was in high school.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And I was always, like, really uncomfortable because I felt like, oh, God, is there something wrong with my boobs or something wrong with my butt? You know? I was very insecure. Okay.
Both.
Thank you for that very triggering question, Alpha. Traspex says, if train A leaves the station at 5 p.m. and 1 at 17... No. Why are you asking me math?
What the hell?
This is very upsetting. It takes me back to, like, my grade school
I got, like,
days
a flashback.
of like word problems. Like, having to do, like, 50 fucking word problems for homework. No!
These comments are amazing.
How do I friend people on Roblox? What? Arani Blork, what is that?
I don't know. Roblox.
Why are you lulling?
Because it's just, I know vaguely what Roblox is. It's like, actually, I might not know at all. I think it's like a Minecraft kind of thing.
Go ahead and embarrass yourself. We've both been wrong on this stream.
I genuinely don't know what Roblox is, but it's become a bit of a meme.
It's a meme.
It's a tad meme-y.
I'm sorry I can't help you. I can barely figure out how to use YouTube. I'm supposed to be a professional, so...
Go to the Add Friend tab.
Yeah, Add Friend tab is usually a good start. Young Rumpus says, nice Nirvana shirt, Chris.
Thank you,
Got the
Young
whole crew
Rumpus.
on there. Got the whole crew. Thank you, Patrick, for the tip. Jack Crowley asks, are you friends with Anita and Lena? I don't know Lena. I don't want to answer the other one because I have complicated... Okay, I already said too much. All right, Sweatily Cooking says, would you rather whip or nay, my homie fam?
That's the most millennial comment I've
my
heard.
Homie fam.
My homie fam. Whip or nay, my homie fam. What the hell?
I'm going to go with whip.
That would be a $2 donation.
Sweatily clicking.
That's a pretty good name.
I like that screen.
T-Wookiees with the $2. Hello. T-Wookiees.
Mr. Ghost asks, what do you think about all the extremes on both sides? I'm hoping that this is a step towards stopping extremes taking over the mainstream. I think that's exactly what's happening. I think the extremes are the loudest, they get the most clicks, and we have like this new economy, this click economy, that is actually very strongly influencing how people see a lot of this stuff. And I've felt like the extremism within feminism has gotten louder and louder and louder. And I think the solution is to have a dialogue and also to let people know that, like, if your opinion isn't the same as what you hear, it's okay to voice it. You know, like, you don't need to agree with these really intense people on the internet. And those really intense people have a lot of ways of shutting the conversation down, in my opinion, which is why I felt like it was important for me and for other people to just sort of speak your mind and speak your truth and listen and learn and be open to being wrong, you know, be open to hearing other perspectives. Also, know if you are right and make sure that you're forming your arguments in a logical way and backing it up with data when you can. I don't know if that's a realistic expectation of the world, but that's how I'm trying to run things here. The Shadowling says, Sargon lives by Alinsky's rules for radicals. This recent thing was straight out of it. Make them play by their own rules is a big part of it. Oh, that's interesting.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was I understood the idea. I understood what he was going for with the whole petition thing. I just think it was like, I think we had a pretty good amount of favor before that in how that whole thing went down.
I'm going to check out the book because I saw, Lauren Southern was reading that book too.
Oh,
and
really?
I'd consider both of them like a little bit.
Really?
Pixie,
I don't think Sargon and Lauren are all that close.
Close? No, I didn't say close.
I'm saying as far as ideology.
Like their presence online.
Oh,
has
right.
some overlaps.
I see.
Their rhetoric and such. Okay, Pixie Good Cat says, it's lovely to see you two interact together. Aw. Empath, tomboy, feminist here. Scottish with satire, very much part of my humor. So your speaking out recently was empowering for me as a 30-year-old single mom. Oh, that's really sweet. I'm really happy to hear that. I hope that feeling continues. I think it's really great for people to feel like they can speak their minds and be respectful of each other. Okay. Dex Luther says, hey, Lacey, just wanted to say I think it was really brave of you to do the red pill video. I'm sorry I had to put up with all the pushback that you did. Also, hi, Chris.
What's up?
Thanks, Dex. I appreciate it. There was way too much pushback, I would say.
Yeah, it was a bit overblown.
It felt like I was on another planet.
Alex is in the chat. What's up, Alex?
It really did feel like I was on another planet, this whole thing. Sometimes I have moments, you guys, where I think about the last 2 months and I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
It's like a fever dream.
It really is. Like, what the hell happened? Because what's crazy to me is how strongly the reaction is and, like, all of this stuff, even though I feel like I haven't said anything too crazy. Like, let's talk. Ah! Like, the whole world loses it, you know? It's just crazy.
Yeah. But the people think... what amuses me is the people who think it's like an even thing. You know, like, because people were like, I can't believe you forgave Sargon, but like, you're not being nice to these people who were previously your friends who wrote hit pieces about you. And it's like, what do you mean?
I know.
Like, Sargon's just some dude she'd never met.
Yeah.
And these are people
I fucking knew.
Exactly. It's a very
it hurts more.
It's a very different scale. Like,
Betrayal.
if somebody you never met calls you a dumbass in like a video, you're like, oh, this person sucks.
Although, to be fair, Sargon said way worse than you're a dumbass.
Fair enough. But like, and then like, let's say like your freaking friends and siblings do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, there's a very different level of like stress that goes along with that.
I would agree with that.
How you could conflate the two is insane.
Yeah. Ewan? Thanks for the tip. Ewan M. Thank you.
McGregor.
Thanks for the tip. Patrick Slevin, what do you think about what happened between Anita and Boogie at VidCon?
Probably shouldn't.
Yeah. Let me just say that I had a very good heart-to-heart with Boogie and can feel some of his pain.
I like Boogie a lot.
I can empathize a lot with Boogie. John Bad said, hellos to the both of you. What's the deal with you and Chris? Only two sexes, but people can be whatever gender they like. Please stop. And 3, please stop spamming, guys. It helps no one. Poor John's in the chat. Just this nightmare of a chat. I'm sorry, John. What's the deal with me and Chris? We're dating. Only two sexes. But true.
Yeah.
Roughly. It's roughly. I just feel like I got it. I don't want to, like, erase intersex, you know, but yeah, roughly.
Right.
Intersex falls between the two, right? Male and female. Okay. Thanks, John. Miss Glitch podcast excerpt says, please switch glasses at some point and take a pic.
We could do that. We don't have to take a pic, though. It'll just be, like, screenshotted on the stream. No, do you think you want to swap?
Okay.
Oh, it's going to be bad.
Why?
Because my eyes are so massively fucked.
Oh, God. Your glasses are also very dirty.
Pot, meat, kettle. Are you kidding me?
I just cleaned mine.
These are actually repulsive.
They're just scratched. They're not repulsive.
They're so dirty.
Don't clean it with
What do you mean?
microfiber only. I scratched my last glasses doing that.
You don't need microfiber. It's a myth. I've cleaned everything I've ever owned with, like, my shirts.
I used to, and I ruined my glasses.
Microfiber is such... You know why?
Oh, this is so much better.
You know why they only sell microfiber in, like, little pieces like this? Because it's not actually valuable. It doesn't actually do anything that normal fabric doesn't do. They sell it in little things. It's like diamonds. It's like, oh, look at how valuable it is. There's so little of it.
But babe, I'm telling you, I used to scratch all my glasses until I started doing that. It was the simple scientific method. All right, it works.
Are you woman-interrupting me?
Yes, I did. I just woman-splained you.
Good Lord.
Okay, Charles says, what do you think about how third wave feminism, increasing numbers of career-focused women, has influenced birth rates in Western nations? Weren't we just talking about how the birth rate had fallen, you said?
Yeah. I think it's less to do with third wave feminism and more to do with just, like, contraception.
Access to contraceptives.
Yeah, because people do, let's be real here, people don't want kids.
Yeah, nobody wants...
Nobody wants
a screaming,
I feel like
tiny human.
The people who want kids make up a very small percentage of the people who typically have them. in my view, so, like, the medical advances in contraception probably lead more to a lower birth rate than anything else.
Yeah, but
maybe,
also, like,
maybe Japan is like a special case because,
yeah.
like, Japan's is like down to the ground.
Yeah.
But Japan's also weird.
Yeah, that's true. I just want to, like, come back to the whole, like, people don't want kids thing, because I do think that's actually wrong.
Nah. Dismissed. Dismissed offhand.
Well, it's interesting because now people can have as many kids as they want, right? So they have fewer, which has led to a lower birth rate. I just think it's interesting, like, when people have the choice of, like, over their reproductive destinies, you know, it's not like the birth rate's fallen off or something. Yeah. It's just that people have more control over their lives. Okay, thanks for the question, Charles. Cactarian says, screw VidCon, go to Computing Forever and base Mama Kilroy's event instead. I have no idea what that is. Do you know what that is?
I do, but I don't know if I can... I don't know how public that is. Okay,
well, thanks, Cactarian. B70 says, thank you for all you've done. Oh, thanks so much, Beast. That's nice of you. Arani Blork asks, do you think esports is a sport? That's where they play games, right?
That's like competitive StarCraft and stuff like that. Yeah.
I don't know. It depends on how you define sport.
If...
Like bodily agility stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I've actually thought about that a lot.
Like, do you have to have like a physical agility or physical skill?
There is an amount of dexterity required,
right?
And it is, anybody who plays any kind of video game competitively at all knows that it is a tad difficult.
Yeah.
So I guess it is
difficult, like physically. You mean?
It can be. It depends. Like, some people do it for like hours and hours on end. So it's like it is technical. Well, you could say it's a sport. I lean towards maybe not. I think it's an esport. I think that's what it is. It doesn't need to be a sport for it to be valid. I don't think.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. I could be convinced it's a sport.
It's not a sport because there's no ball.
Well, not all sports have balls.
Hey.
Hey.
That sounds a bit exclusionary.
That sounds pretty sexist against men. Does Lacey know the wage gap is BS now? You fap to me asks. Well, you fap to me. I'm going to do a video update on that in the future, I would say. I do think there's pretty good data that suggests there is a wage gap, but the nature of it and the sort of limitations around it are more complicated than the whole, 77 cents to $1 thing would indicate, right? It's more complicated than that.
Somebody just said chess is a sport. Is chess really a sport? Keep going.
See, now I'm getting uncomfortable.
Now I'm
Is chess really a sport?
Hold on. Yeah, I mean, if it is, then video games are definitely.
Yitzchak Lockerman says, I participate in organizations that have gotten threats because they were Jewish. Synagogue, they feel like they need security. A one-off joke online can cause harm. It's easy to talk in the abstract, but we feel the results. I think that jokes, yeah, I mean, I think it sort of depends. I don't know that it's just the joke itself, right? There's sort of this culture around these things, in this case, anti-Semitism. There's a culture around the topic, and jokes can, I think, while relatively innocuous on their own, can be a part of that culture, but I don't know that I am convinced of the argument that a joke online, depending on the joke, right? A joke online is the reason why people are getting threats on its own, right? I think there's just like a broader context of the culture, of the discrimination, the ism, the bias, things like that. But I do think we should think about jokes and what they say and what they mean. Thank you for your comment, Yitzchak. Crip Lord asks, are there any fellow well-known feminists who have supported your recent change in approach? Do some only do so privately for fear of backlash? Yeah. I would say there's only one. Only one that is well-known on YouTube that has supported me and has like worked with me on stuff. And I think it's pretty obvious who that person is if you are familiar with their work. Do some only do so privately for fear of backlash? I have gotten a lot of emails from people who aren't necessarily YouTube feminists, but who work at organizations and such, who are like, I have seen this problem, I've had this problem. People who are in my industry, in my field, are like, this is making sex ed really hard to teach. Like, I'm glad somebody's talking about it. And yes, they are absolutely terrified of the backlash because they have dealt with violence just like I have. Actual violence. I'm not talking about, offensive words. And that's a real thing that I think a lot of people are dealing with. And makes me sad. Inji Binji says, have you seen Book of Mormon the musical? Yes. I enjoyed it.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's really good.
I know, I
really liked it. Will R, when are kids gonna show up?
Oh, God.
Like at my house? What do you mean?
I think that means
like when I have kids?
When are we having kids? I think exactly.
When are they gonna show up? Like they just walk right on up.
I like the phrasing of that question.
That's why I was confused.
When are they gonna show up?
They just showed up right on out of my vagina. Showing up.
How do I? Oh my God.
Arani is still trying to figure out how to friend people in Roblox. If anyone can help Arani in the chat, this is really desperate. Please provide your step-by-step instructions. Greatly appreciated. Anakin Skywalker asks, the Force is strong with you. That's not a question. Thank you. You spell my name wrong, but I will accept it because I don't care and I spell things wrong all the time. But also it's L-A-C-I. Okay, bye. Maddie Patty 92 says, Lacey roast Chris in 5 words or less. I feel like I already did. Like my main roast of you is you're like an angry grandpa.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not an angry grandpa. What does that mean?
You are, like, on the inside.
On the
It's
inside?
who you are. There's like an angry grandpa inside of him.
I don't know. I think, honestly, a lot of it is just growing up watching nothing but Seinfeld on repeat. Makes you view things in a very neurotic way.
Are you saying the media influences us?
Yes.
Whoa. I'm gonna bring it back to that argument in the future.
I mean, it was just a joke.
I'm bringing it back.
Media influences you, but it's not gonna, like, turn you into something you're not, I don't think.
Yeah. Jury whispers, Chris, tap your nose twice if you're in duress.
No, this isn't a,
Are you in duress?
No. What is that? The chick who was captured by ISIS? What's that thing? That YouTuber?
No.
Fuck. It was like Joyce. Not Joyce.
What are you?
Marina Joyce. That's what it is. Like, because she made like a video where she was like blinking a lot or something, and everyone thought she was captured by ISIS.
That was so scary.
But really, she was just on drugs.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It's actually kind of sad. I wish that people didn't have to. Yeah.
Don't you know her? Or?
I don't know her, no. But I know that, all the stuff that came out about her is not public. Mr. Pooch Pants says, Heart, Lacey plus Chris. Always love Chris' stuff and love Lacey's new stuff too. Very furry too coming out. Bridging gaps gives me hope for all, like with VidCon. That's very, very sweet. Thank you, Mr. Pooch Pants.
That was really nice.
Alexander says, Chris introduced Lacey to the Sleepy Cabin podcast. It's hilarious and it'll totally explain Psychopat's insanity. What's that?
Interesting. Sleepy Cabin?
It's a podcast?
It's a podcast with a bunch of animators. I think Sleepy Cabin is done now, though, because Zach started up Schmucks, which I am a guest on.
Could still contextualize the insanity that's causing me
I'll show you an episode of Sleepy Cabin, and then you'll probably understand where Zach is as a human being.
Right.
I love Zach to death. He's like one of the best people I've met so far. But he's also certifiably off his rocker.
Yeah, it would appear that way. Brian Souza, 16, asks Chris, do you and Lacey game together?
No, this is a very separate thing.
Yeah, it's not our shared activity time.
No.
Retro Ambassador, $50. Thank you. That's very generous of you. And no comment. Something I guess, The Grove asks, what do you think about stuff like 1/5 of women have been raped statistic in the wage gap?
We talked a little bit about the wage gap.
Yeah. The 1 in 5. What do I think about the statistic? Like, I think that's a statistic.
You think it's accurate, 1 in 5?
I don't think I can determine if something's accurate.
That's fair.
Because it's large scale. Like, I don't know every woman,
That's true.
And so I think that statistics, as long as the methodology is pretty solid, we should rely on those.
My interpretation of that statistic is that it's obviously a huge issue.
Yeah.
Right? Because obviously, rape's not like this foreign thing that doesn't happen. It happens a lot. But I do think people will often try to make a problem seem a lot more, I don't know if widespread is the right word.
You think there's like an exaggeration?
There's an exaggeration in the sense that...
But how can you know that? Like, you can't do the statistics. Like, how could you... I'm just not even sure where you could, like, start to
1 in 5
claim
to
that.
me just seems a tad enormous.
Well, maybe it's a bigger problem than you think it is.
Well, it's easily just as possible that it's also not.
It's easily just as possible that the statisticians know how to do statistics.
Well, there's a lot of bad statistics that like.
But there's a lot. This is not just one study. Like
I understand.
The sort of consensus
is the 1 in
across.
5?
Yeah, the consensus across like many studies is it hovers around like 1 in 5 to 1 in 6. That's kind of where things hang out across the studies. Each one's a little bit different.
Right. I don't know about it. It seems like a bit of a, we need to pay attention to this, but we'll only pay attention to it if it's 1 in 4, like an epidemic number. So let's make it the epidemic
what happens
number.
if it is an epidemic number?
If it is
like
an epidemic number,
what you're saying
then,
is
yeah,
like you're precluding the possibility just because it's a large statistic.
I've already explained to you my issue with statistics, and that they can easily be warped.
Well, I've explained to you why I think statistics can do that too. But look, that statistic is not one of them.
Is it not? How do you know though?
Because there's so many of them, and I have looked at the methodology. I have looked at the methodology of like several of those.
But that's the thing. There's like a ton of statistics around like what the alt-right says, and it's like. That doesn't. I don't think that's the same. Make it true.
I don't think that's the same. The prestige and the scale of the studies, like in terms of who conducted them and how big they are, what their methodology is. Like, I don't know about all right stuff, but yes, I think that like your reaction is, I think, one of the problems.
What?
That people think it's not as big of a problem as it actually is.
I think it's a huge problem, but I'm just the whole 1 in 5 thing really, because that would mean that like in every classroom, like there's like 4 or 5 rape victims.
Yeah, it also depends on how they're defining rape. Like the 1 in 5, I think, is sexual assault. So the definitions of the words.
But that's the thing. It's like
Yeah, and that comes back to
these
the
things
methodology.
need to be exactly the methodology.
How they're defining it, how they got the information, how they're talking to people about it, how they're asking about it, how they're reporting it. All of these things matter. But I think it's a serious issue. Dead Hero or Alive Villain asks, would you go on Drunken Peasants? Was there a main event that made you want to start a conversation? Also, poll on 4chan equals political incorrect. That's okay. I'm okay with political incorrectness. I would go on the Drunken Peasants. Was there a main event? I think, honestly, so I originally wanted to go talk to Blair, right? Because I think Blair is an interesting person. Even though she was doing a lot of toxic stuff, which she recently apologized for, which makes me really happy. I don't think Blair's a bad person. I really don't. And I had a really fun time with her at VidCon. I think that, like I've said before, that people like Blair can do destructive stuff sometimes. But when I talked to Blair, people just freaked out on me. People I knew, completely lost their minds. And that, to me, was mind-blowing. I was like, whoa, I didn't think this would be so controversial.
When you were just talking to Blair?
Just to talk to her. Yeah, and literally arguing with her the whole time, disagreeing with her the whole time. But that is just not acceptable. And that's, was sort of I would say, I knew I wanted to have this conversation, but that was okay, I've got to do this because this is fucking crazy. OJ Simp.
OJ Simp.
I don't think they do that, and I'm not going to read it out loud.
That's obviously a troll.
Yeah, you're a troll. Hocticus Maximus asks, empath or says, empath is a type of telepathy wherein you can only detect and possibly influence people's emotions. Oh, well then that would be, if you can influence their emotions.
Wouldn't that be just robbing people of their free will? You'd want to take people's free will away?
This got deep. It's too deep for me. Sergey asks, what are your thoughts on Ukraine and Russia? That's too vague. I need something specific with Ukraine and Russia.
I think he might be talking about isn't Russia didn't Russia take the Ukraine?
Yeah, I think there's some political shit there.
Yeah.
Corey Galbraith asks, I had my doubts you're putting yourself out there, though I see the effort you're making. I hope the journey stays more positive than negative. Thank you, Corey. Me too. Fat chance, though. It's been a shit show. It's alright, though. I think things will, cool off. Robert Morrow. Lacey, we're glad to have a prominent progressive personality engaging with us as equals instead of as the ism of the week. Keep it up. I like
ism
that.
Of the week.
The ism of the week. That is pretty good. That's good. I was also tired of being treated as the ism of the week, so we have that in common. Fuck. I'm sorry, I lost my place, you guys.
Good lord.
Jeez, you guys are so sweet. What the fuck?
This is insane.
What the fuck, you guys? Oh, wait. No,
that was Russia. What the hell?
Where?
I think.
Oh, wait, there we go.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Oi. All right. Jackass, I'm really curious as to why you dislike Cat Black. Look at how she's treated us. That's all I'm going to say. Look at how she's treated us.
Yeah.
She's treated us really poorly for no reason. I've been nothing but kind to Kat, and I gave her the benefit of the doubt all the way to the end until she started treating us really, really poorly. And I have, witnessed some stuff, other things that make me very disappointed. Okay, Derek Sweeney asks, my girlfriend's SJW-ish. She likes to shut down when I want to discuss this topic. I'm not overbearing, just want to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Advice. Okay, so she might be shutting down because she's feeling attacked. And, whether or not there's, merit to that feeling, I think that if someone feels attacked, it's good to try to lower the volume a little bit and make them feel comfortable to have a discussion. That's something that I think a lot of people aren't taking into account. Like the Sargon and Anita stuff, I think people need to be aware of how the conversation comes off to another person so that they can actually, let their guard down and be open like that. But I think sort of demonstrating to your partner that you're willing to listen and hear them out, and that you don't, you're not trying to attack or anything, keeping the vibe positive and respectful, and telling her exactly what you said here. Like, I don't want to be overbearing, I just want to talk about this, and, I feel like it's an elephant in the room. And, be respectful, and if she doesn't want to talk about it, at the end of the day, that's something that has to be respected. Everyone's a little different in terms of their comfort levels and how they handle this stuff and where they're at with it too. Because for some people, we also have to remember some of this stuff, like debating about rape and such, is very, very personal, and people, not everyone is going to want to talk about that kind of stuff. Even the gender stuff I've been talking about on my channel, there's a lot of things that are just like, it's understandable why they're uncomfortable. So I think taking that into account is always helpful too. Andrew, thanks for the tip. Shadowling1, Lacey, look up 4chan cup. It will explain 4chan well.
I don't know what that is.
I have a feeling that anytime I get advice about 4chan, I just feel like okay, so I'm not going to do that. I'll do literally the exact opposite. I
feel like we should try and do like a bit of a lightning.
A lightning?
A lightning run through some of the search, because we're going to get to a point where we're probably not going to catch up.
God. I feel bad.
Well, that's the thing. It's like we got to do a lightning run if we're going to get all of them.
Okay.
Y'all are so chill.
I feel bad. Okay. Look up where were we at? Spell ICUP. ICUP?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Really?
From middle school.
That was a middle school.
What is Chris's shirt, Sean?
It's Seinfeld Nirvana.
That was a really good showcasing. Yeah. You showed it earlier. You can rewind.
Yeah, you can rewind.
Has Chris told you about the time he clogged the toilet yet? With a rat? I know that there was a rat in...
There was a rat story. That I saw a rat climb up through a toilet and then swim back down, and it scarred me for life.
And then he made the rat his pet.
Thanks for the $20. Wendy Thomas for the $2 a re. Thanks for that. And Anna Schrader?
Anna Schrader. Thoughts on the brown stripes on the LGBT flag?
That's a good...
Support it?
I'm a little lukewarm about it. I think it's a bit silly.
It's not silly.
I think
there was racism happening in the community there, and they wanted to take a stand against it, and so they put some fucking stripes on some fucking flags, and then everyone lost their goddamn mind.
How about taking a stand? How about instead of putting colors on a flag, you actually take a stand against racism?
Well, I think they are too. It's a symbol. Flags are symbols.
Symbol. It's not gonna remind
Sweet
people.
Fella says. Sweet Fella says, "What do you think of the sex move known as the Nintendo when you mash your fingers back and forth?" What? Can you demonstrate?
No, what?
When you mash your fingers back and forth.
Oh! I'll explain it later. Let's keep going.
Okay. I'm curious now.
I'll explain it to you off camera.
Jonathan, how tall are you? I am 5'3", 5'2". White and Nerdy says, re is the sound of frog mates when it's upset. Chris, I'm so disappointed in you. Connected to Pepe and Keck.
Keck turns out to be the Egyptian
He disapproves of your explanation.
Right. That's right. I'm not knowledgeable in this shit. I just get caught up in this nonsense.
Yeah. Smart Asshole says, never thought I would super chat to Lacey. Didn't agree entirely on the last video as a trans person myself, but it was really good overall. Thanks, Smart Asshole. Cool. Anthony Caputa says, skip.
Yeah.
If you guys write trolly shit, I will not. I'm resisting. Casey says, you may not love Lord Emperor Trump, but he loves you. Lord Emperor
Trump. Gareth Green with the $20.
I would like to say, Lacey, that I admire you to death for all of this. Even before, though I saw you on Braless and disagree with most of what you said, but you were much nicer about saying it than most feminists.
Yeah, I feel like that was a reason why I never personally felt the need to go to do a video on Braless.
Well, I appreciate that.
Well, I'm not saying oh, you're lucky that I didn't attack you.
I know. I'm just saying that would have been funny if you had.
It would have been pretty funny.
This point. Andrew says, no, fuck you duplicitous airhead.
Thanks for the Canadian $2.
I actually really like the word duplicitous.
It is a good word.
And duplicitous airhead goes together very well. Sick burn.
I might steal that.
Based Keckbot says, can you convince Shives to block me on Twitter?
It won't be hard, dude.
I'll work on that for you. Criplord says, might I suggest the sexuality of the disabled as a topic? Being disabled it's a serious barrier for me that I'm not seen as a sexual human, and the friend zone is practically in my backyard because of it. Yeah, I've actually talked about this on my channel before.
That's super. I'd never considered that. It's actually super interesting.
Yeah, I did a video with my friend Olivia. She talks about this extensively, and she is fucking hilarious. So I would suggest you check that video out. It's called Sexuality and Disability, I believe.
Mems.
Oh, hi, Mems. Love you, boo. Need more mods for your channel. She's like, help.
Yeah,
help me.
That was basically a cry for help.
I'm sorry, Mems. Oh, God. It's okay. We gotta embrace the shit show. We're trying. Salmon Tank says, here is keeping the roof over your head. Best wishes to you both. Thank you so much. That's super sweet of you. Fliggy39 says, would you be willing to talk to TJ? I watch both of you and I'd love to hear you exchange ideas. Chris, please comment too. Love you guys.
What? I mean,
I would be willing to talk to TJ.
I've been on Drunken Peasant. TJ was responsible for getting me to 100K subs.
That's very nice of him.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I would talk to TJ. Any philosophical bull asks, any chance for a Laci Green roaming millennial conversation? I think so. Yeah, I think so. That all of these things will happen. I just move very slowly because I have a lot of responsibilities outside of the videos. The Cheshire Cat says, what do you think it says about the far left that your openness to dialogue leads to losing possible jobs in the future? What indeed, Cheshire Cat? What indeed?
It says a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard pill. And it's not everyone, but there's definitely some of that going on. It's too bad. The Merovingian says, I used to hate your living cuts. Oh, well, thank you. But now I'm at least willing to listen to you. Progress for both of us, I suppose.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
It's all about leading everybody from hate to a passive loathing.
Yeah, like a lukewarm dislike.
Exactly.
I can sit with that. White Lancer asks, props to Laci for the move to open conversation. It's good to see. I hope more follow. Chris, huge fan of yours. Forward Patreon, but can't afford.
That's fine, dude.
Apologies on behalf of White Lancer.
You don't need to pay I make free videos.
Oni says, nice shirt, Chris. Olivia Smith, thank you for the tip, my dear. Joseph Jenkins says, what do you think is more important with regard to Marvel Comics, their ideological message or good writing?
Yeah. That's one for me, I guess, right?
I think good writing. I don't know.
Good writing takes precedent over anything if
it comes
writing
first. Like, I can't even get into something if the writing's not good.
Yeah, there's been a lot of, like, Marvel Comics recently that have been pretty... Obviously, just like a kind of like a self-insert for like the writer's politics.
Yeah.
And it's like that can be done well.
Yeah,
that can be done well, right? That's the thing. It's like I don't think anybody's against that kind of thing, but it has to be done well. And if you're writing a good story and it happens to be political, that's fine. But it needs to be well written. And
I think
a lot of the cases it's not.
Like shows and movies and stuff with good messages, I always embrace and love those more. But I don't think they necessarily need to have a good message to be interesting. And in fact, if something has a interesting, ambiguous political message, those are kind of fun to talk about too, and try to interpret within the framework of the film. So I kind of like a little bit of both. Mm. More about Ukraine versus Russia. Sorry, not qualified to opinion or comment on it.
Neither of us have really
looked into this. But thank you for the tip, Sergey. Obamacare. Are traps gay? Didn't we already discuss this?
Well,
we did.
Did you have an opinion? What was your opinion?
I was just very confused, and still am.
I think probably yes.
I need to do my own research.
If I'm understanding the question correctly, then yes.
Yeah.
Personally.
Also, turn off slow mode. Re.
I love these re's. The Milanovic.
Is Chris's semen bleach flavored?
That's interesting.
Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and no comment on that one, Milanovic. Yeah. No, it's not bleach. What the fuck? John Daniel asks, do you think extremism on one side leads to extremism on the other? Like the alt-right versus the SJW. Seems like everyone continues to get more and more ridiculous. You mean like they feed into each other? I could see that happening. I think it's sort of like outrages each side and it escalates very quickly.
If you talk to a lot of antis, that's a label that I've seen lately.
Yeah.
You'll notice that I feel like a lot of them came out of just being berated for no reason.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, what? So they're going to talk about it, and then they're probably going to have fans who are like a bit more on edge than they are, and then they'll make videos, and then it's like, and then that feeds into the social justice narrative, and then it's a ping pong game,
right?
At a certain point,
right? Yeah, I kind of see it the same way. Skate Metrics asks, "Hi Lacey, I wonder, are you becoming a centrist? You're shunned by many feminists, but you still believe in many feminist values." I think I've always been like a little bit more of a centrist than people have seen me as. I think they've associated with me with some stuff, and interpreted things that I've said in a way that I didn't necessarily mean those things to come off.
Well, because they're informed by the context of other people in your field.
Right. There's sort of a context, and so we see the way that I was being read, I think, was a little bit more extreme than I would, or more far left than I would see myself. But don't get me wrong, I am like a pretty far lefty person. I wouldn't say far left, but I am very lefty, I did that political compass thing. It's on my Twitter, if you're curious. It was like pretty far on the liberal side, and then on the libertarian side as well. Pretty far down.
Yeah. Which
makes sense. I really am not an authoritarian. And I think that's one of my conflicts with some of these people. Yeah.
Zach is in the chat. What's up, Pebbles? Thanks for the Gremblow.
I'm really concerned, Zach. If you need a friend or an ear with all of the death videos, I'm here for you.
I can't wait for the schmucks to come out. Because there's a great story about a pillow soaked in what I thought was urine. Okay. We're going to keep going through these...
Thanks for the question, Skate. But yeah, I'm still the same person I've always been. It's just sort of the perception of me, I would say, is changing because of stuff. Bryson Snowden says, thoughts on Steve Shire's reply to your red pilling. I didn't watch his video. I just watched the clips you showed me, and it was really condescending.
Whoa! I didn't show you clips.
Who showed me that?
You probably found clips on your own. I didn't. Okay. If I would have showed you the video, I would have showed you the video in context. I don't show clips.
No. I mean, like I was watching it with you. Maybe I don't know. I feel like you were there.
Right,
I don't know.
Right. You might have been watching it like offhand while I was watching it.
Maybe.
Doing other stuff.
I haven't watched the whole video, but the stuff that I saw out of context. Maybe different in context, but out of context, it looked pretty condescending. Sounded pretty condescending, like, oh, she's just too stupid to know what she's doing. A lot of people think that I'm not, like, capable of having my own opinions, having my own thoughts, blaming it on Chris, blaming it on whatever, and that's really upsetting. Gareth asks, what are Lacey's views on paternity fraud? Chris, what are your favorite video games and anime? I love adventure games by Sierra, LucasArts, Myst, BioWare, Studio Ghibli, and Full Metal Alchemist.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Paternity fraud.
Paternity fraud is where... What is it?
I don't know.
I knew this at one point.
It was in the red pill.
Right. It's the thing where the father...
Is when he's like trapped into... What is paternity fraud? Fuck.
I don't know. We'll have to come back to this.
Yeah. I knew what it was at one point.
What's your favorite video game, though?
Shadow of the Colossus. It's an old Studio Japan game that's being remastered next year, and I'm pumped.
Boom. Thanks for the question, Gareth. How to Kiss Maximus is back with Screw Fimbulwinter Locate City Bomb. Superior. Okay, then. We can just argue about how the world will end.
How best to bring about the end of days.
How it became about the world ending.
Yeah.
It's like saving the world.
Listen, that's how you achieve... The only way to achieve peace is to ensure that there's no one left to fight.
Okay.
Right?
All right. You just that's
open up, crash two atoms together in the center of the Earth, and then everything gets sucked in. Nobody dies, really. It just everything stops.
So that's Chris's opinion.
No, it's a fact.
It's a fact.
This is my fact.
It's a fact. Nobody here to fight.
My feelings are facts, not yours, though.
Obamacare wants to know our trash.
He's really
guys. Someone explain this to me. Send me an essay. I don't know what it is. I'm ignorant.
We'll do a whole thing.
Need tutored. Skylar Ernest says, I'm not an anti-feminist, but I think it's nice for you to be open to discussion. Thoughts on Scientology and how fucked up it is, especially with LGBT people. Pretty fucked up. Thank you, by the way. Scientology, is a cultish religion, just like,
everything. All other religions.
They feel like especially egregious somehow.
Well, yeah,
I feel like they're just a tax haven for people.
Well, you know why? Because it's the most recent one. Every religion, you'll notice this. The oldest one seems to have the most credence because it's like, hey, you know, we don't know because it's so far long ago.
That's a good point.
Mormonism is like just a couple hundred years, so it's like people are like, that's pretty ridiculous, but also, go ahead.
Yeah, that's a true.
But
that's a good point.
Scientology is like, what, in this century?
Yeah.
So everybody's like, come on, are you kidding? This is just like a money laundering scheme.
I don't know, babe. Emperor Xenu, he might be a thing. Like, you can't know.
I can know.
You should just believe in all of them, just in case.
I can know.
You can't.
Yes, you can. Because everything's too specific for it to be accurate. Like, how would a human being have all this knowledge? This cosmic knowledge? You're all wrong.
You're all wrong.
You're all wrong. You're going to die one day, and then your brain's going to cease because that's where your consciousness is, and then you're going to wonder, where's this afterlife?
There's a lot of death happening in this conversation.
Yeah.
Shima says, I'd love to see a discussion between you and roaming. Thanks for the vote, Shima.
That'd be cool.
We'll make it happen. Don't worry. Anyone you guys want me to talk to, we'll figure it out. It's just a matter of when and where and what we talk about. Inji Binji says, I think I remembered hearing you maybe on Ruben soon. Also, any chance you'd ever go on the Drunken Peasants? Yes, I'm going to be talking to Dave in 2 weeks, and I would be down to go on the Drunken Peasants. Sammy says, you can't downplay that we should all, and I mean everyone being here, should all be doing because it dwarfs every time. Wait, what?
You can't downplay
that we should all, and I mean everyone being here should all be doing because it dwarfs every topic we are talking about here. Do you know what? I'm sorry, I don't...
The English is a little fragmented.
I'm sorry. I
think what?
Yeah, we're confused about that.
Again.
Oh, Scotland forever. Scotland can save the world and stand for everyone. Okay, I believe it. One of my friends is moving to Scotland. I'm really sad. Kevin O'Neill says, put other kin into gulag? Gulags? What's that?
A gulag? That's like a, what is it, like a Russian prison?
Oh.
Like a Soviet prison? Don't imprison the other kings.
Them.
Just,
that's not nice. That's mean.
They're just people who don't know what the hell.
Oh, we don't know what's going on there.
There might
be some.
I can make a quick guess that it's a bit
I feel like we need more information before we judge. Smart asshole says, agree with Chris about pride. He agrees with me too, right? My feelings are hurt. I'm proud
of my military. Oh, I'm sorry. I interrupted.
Oh, I see. Yeah. No, that's fine. Okay, that's fine. I'm proud of your military accomplishments as well, but like it's not about being proud of your sexual orientation, right? Like, oh, I'm this. It's about being proud of overcoming like the shaming that people endure because of their sexual orientation when they're not straight. So I don't think that I don't think pride is saying it's about your gender or whatever. I mean, maybe it is, but not to me. That's not the way I see it. Mike says, I think pride is synonymous with acceptance in the context of gay pride. Yeah, otherwise I would agree with Chris that it wasn't earned or achieved. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to sum it up.
That's fair.
Hawkticus Maximus says, white people historically don't unite under a race, it's under religion or nationality, and thus our struggle is based off of that. That's an interesting comment.
Yeah, when we first started talking about this, we said something similar. Because in the U.S. and Europe, white people make up the majority.
Yeah. So
there's no need to segment on race.
Yeah.
Because everybody's the same. So you look for another reason to segment.
Okay. Yeah. That's an interesting idea. Chris Jones says, Lacey Green, everyone should have pride but white people. That is not what I said. Don't take me out of context. No. I'm talking about the specific context in which things like white pride or gay pride occur.
And she even admitted if everything was the exact opposite.
Yeah, it would be different.
That it would be a different situation.
Dakota says, you're right, Lacey, that white people aren't just white. The Irish and Italians were discriminated against. True. I know. White, like, that is true.
White doesn't even really exist, honestly.
I mean, it's fluid, like the concept of whiteness. Like something I've asked myself, and that's been interesting in seeing the fallout from all of this is like, are Iranians white? And like the parameters of whiteness and what that means is, it's got some fluidity. And the whole thing about the Irish being like discriminated against.
The Irish got it probably the worst of all those groups.
Of what groups?
Of the people who came in from Europe. Or
I don't know enough about it to really.
The Irish got. The Italians kind of got. I think it was more against the Irish back in back in those days. I mean, it's literally a history staple.
Yeah.
Like Irish need not apply.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, thanks for the comment, Dakota.
Yeah.
Kevin says the previous super chat is on point. An Irishman died for every mile of railway.
Yeah.
I don't know what the previous.
Is
that this one?
Yeah,
you guys can see it too. Yeah. No, we're not disputing that.
No, that's definitely.
We're not disputing that.
I mean, I don't know historically if that's entirely accurate, but it's definitely not great.
We don't doubt that there are struggles.
No, absolutely.
Maximus Baron says, Chris, read this. I wish to wish the wish. Okay,
he
said you read it.
He wants me to what? I wish to wish the wish you wish to wish, but if you wish the wish the witch wishes, I won't wish the wish you wish to wish.
Wow, you did that good.
Was that a tongue twister?
I don't know, but you nailed it.
Okay, cool.
Nice job. Succeeded at something today.
Did they really die for every mile of the railway? That's insane.
I don't think we should promote that as fact without checking it.
Right.
Google it, people.
I'm not educated on that front.
Yeah.
It's possibly true. I don't really know.
Sam asks... Bye, Sam. Becca asks, how are things between you and Phility? I haven't really talked to him, Becca. Bert says, can you guys switch glasses?
We already did
We already did. Go rewind. Isaac Wakefield. Troll. Masha Mafia says, do y'all think the extreme feminists stay young by fighting with people over the internet? Are they actually 100 years old? It's the key to youth.
The key to youth is being outraged on the internet. I've noticed.
I don't know. I feel like outrage ages me.
No, it doesn't.
Like I'm old now.
No, because I've looked the same for years. You know.
That's true.
And I've been doing nothing but being outraged.
That's true. You are very outraged
this whole
all the time.
I'm not outraged. I'm just hyper apathetic.
That's true. Thanks, Masha. The Turkish zoo has been blocked by Steve Shives. Very sorry,
I think that's
Turkish.
actually true.
Well, you know those block bots. They just block everyone. Flaming Nutshot.
What?
That's the name, Flaming Nutshot.
That's a great one.
Says you two are adorable together. Well, thank you, Flaming Nutshot. I really like that screen name for some reason.
Flaming
It's
Nutshot.
like terrifying. Matthew the 13th, thank you for the tip. Joseph, what are your thoughts on assortative mating? Sexual selection, dominance hierarchies, and their roles in civilization? Joseph, I'm pretty sure that people could write like many books on that topic.
That's a bit of a loaded one.
It's a little too broad. Be a little more specific. Richard Poole says, I remember when YouTube was just stick figure animation battles and He-Man memes. Now most of it's a political shit show with some good content. Yours and Chris is in between. Congrats on being great. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate that. It is such a shit show.
It's a massive.
So bad.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Good lord.
Stephanos wants to know how big is Chris's ray gun. He doesn't have a ray gun. Like you don't own.
Should I get one? Should I get like a prop gun at this point? I have a real one.
Yeah.
Well, a prop real gun.
Yeah. That's not real. It's a prop.
It's a
fake
prop.
gun.
It's a prop of a real gun.
It's fake.
It's fake.
A real gun would be real.
I'm saying the prop is of a real gun. It's not like a lasery little, like, you know.
Oh, right. Not a ray gun.
Twisting my words.
No, I was confused.
No.
I didn't know.
You intentionally confused me.
I'm sorry.
You know I have a stutter.
I didn't mean it. My bad.
Fair enough.
Jandium says, I'm proud to be a Nigerian with a rocket launcher.
That's a good pride.
What's a rocket launcher?
What? It's a thing that launches rockets.
Oh, okay. I thought it was maybe something more complex than that.
No.
Oh, God, we're like more than a half hour behind on the super chats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, are we? What?
Yeah, so how much longer do you want to stream for? Like 45? You want to go till 7? Is that okay?
Yeah,
That should give us enough time to work through the rest of these. Right?
Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay, so guys, we're going to be bouncing out at 7. I'm going to try to get through as many of these as possible. Sorry, we're really slow. I feel like I get sidetracked in these questions.
A little bit.
But they're such good questions! What the heck?
They're pretty good. Okay.
Pretty good.
Let's...
Alright. The Jester. I'd love to see more females go into engineering fields. How can we encourage more women into fields like computer science and engineering? I think it's like a really complicated
I have a good idea.
situation. Do you?
I have a good idea. Oh. Yeah. Maybe stop painting those fields as if women aren't allowed in them.
I don't think anyone paints it like women aren't allowed.
I've seen a lot of it.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, these fields don't let women do anything. And it's like, well, if you say that to people, they're not going to want to go in those fields.
I haven't seen that.
I've seen a lot of it.
As a woman who did study sciences,
right.
I didn't see that.
Well, how long ago did you do that, though?
I graduated 6 years ago.
You know how different everything is now.
I don't know.
Compared to 6 years ago.
I don't know if that's true.
2011? You think any of this is going on in 2011?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to this, Jester, because I don't understand this problem super in depth. But just purely anecdotally from like my life and my experience is that the women that I know who are engineers talk a lot about some sort of inappropriate exchanges and behaviors at work sometimes, like more so than I hear from other women I know in other fields. And so my perception is that, maybe there's something there, like there's some social stuff there. But I don't know, I don't know enough about it to diagnose that situation. And I think there's also like a lot of stuff with the traditionally male, traditionally female career fields and gender roles and all that kind of stuff. So of course, sort of letting people be who they want and encouraging them, like you're saying, like don't make it a hostile perception of a place. Letting people be what they want to be and encouraging them really encouraging them and supporting them and giving them what they need to really do that, I think helps a lot too, just in general. HPR asks, do you like the Australian YouTuber Bearing? I've just recently been made aware of Bearing stuff, so I haven't really watched much of it yet. So I can't comment quite yet. At least based on the videos. I'm sure the person is perfectly nice person. Rex Smith says, oh my god, that's fucking adorable, just like in Chris's live stream when you did an unintentional synchronized glasses lift.
Glasses shift. Did we do that?
We
might have both done this at the same time.
Oh, really?
I think that's what that means.
That's disgusting.
It is pretty gross.
Pretty heinous.
I'm going to leave and never come back, sorry.
No! The evil commentary says, switching glasses, I totally love the symbolism.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that.
Smokey Bear says, hey, Lacey, what do you think of Otherkin? I don't know a whole lot about it, but I feel like these are probably people that I don't want to mock, What does that look?
Nothing.
I don't know a lot about it, so,
right. No,
try not to be judgmental,
I'm not judgmental. I just think it's
not judgmental, just really judgmental.
I just think it's a tad.
Tad what?
Silly.
It's
a tad silly.
Well, I don't fully understand it, so maybe it is silly.
Right.
I just don't know enough about it.
I don't know.
I have no idea. Maybe it's perfectly whatever.
Yeah. I don't want to. Thing is, I don't want to send you stuff on it. Yeah. Because then I would paint.
Yeah.
Your view of it how I would do. Yeah, you can do your own.
But if you are an Otherkin person, I think that's fine. Not hurting anyone. Waterboarded Baby says your mom gay. That's true. Brian Stevens says the wage gap varies by industry and is usually around 2 to 5% based on studies that control for all variables people usually call an earnings gap.
Right.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's a fair assumption.
Yeah, I haven't actually heard it referred to as earnings gap. I mean, I don't think this is the whole story, but I do think this is part of the story.
Earnings gap, I think, is a more accurate way to describe it, especially in the West, I think.
Yeah, okay. I'll look into that. FN Squirrels Hates You says, what are the chances connecting with Roaming Millennial? After all, you did kickstart her channel anyways. I didn't kickstart her channel. A YouTuber making up lies about me kickstarted her channel. Ross Cuth says, oh, by the way, we'll probably talk at some point. Ross Cuth says, I think the whole lower birth rate is due to some fear-mongering in the media, like giving birth is the worst pain ever, condoms don't always work. There's definitely a lot of fear-mongering. I'm sure the lower birth rate is a combination of a lot of factors. I think that, more so than contributing to a lower birth rate, in my experience, the painting of birth as like the worst experience you'll ever have makes women more likely to not necessarily not give birth, but not want to give vaginal birth or to give birth without, painkillers and such. So
you mean like C-sections and stuff?
Yeah, like there is a pretty significant rise in C-sections.
Yeah.
And
which I've heard is terrifying,
Yeah.
by the way. Like, I think I was a C-section.
Were you?
Yeah, and then my mom was like, yeah, she was telling me, like, what the doctors do.
Yeah.
So that's some terrifying stuff.
You mean like how a C-section works?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ.
No, it's really hardcore.
No, man.
It's really hard on the body.
I'm not about that.
Yeah.
At all.
No, I mean, some people need it.
That's so terrifying.
Some people need a C-section. No,
No,
it's good. It's good if we need it. Like,
well, I
if
know.
it needs
My
to
mom,
be there.
my mom definitely needed it.
Or
My
even
mom's
if somebody wants
4'10", 4'11".
Yeah.
I was a small little lady.
Mm-hmm.
But still, good Lord, that sounds painful.
Well, yeah, but vaginal birth is painful too.
I mean...
Yeah. I mean, everyone's got to make the decision, please. Yeah. All right.
Jesus.
Mr. Poochpan says, love Chris vids. Glad to see the two of you are doing more to bring moderation to the world, like seeing Fran with Warski, among others, gives me hope. It gives me hope, too.
It's a nice...
Thank you, Mr. Poochpants.
It's a nice time.
It's a nice time.
In some ways.
In some ways. It'll get better.
Yeah.
Ouchie Wawa says, intersex isn't another sex because sex is about reproduction, and intersex isn't another form of reproduction. Yeah, well, intersex in terms of, like, sex traits. You know, when people think of sex, they're not always thinking of reproduction. Sometimes they're just thinking about, you know, the sex traits on your body. Ultimately, it does come down to reproduction, of course, and that's male-female, which is why, you know, intersex still does fall between this binary, and why I still think it's accurate to say there's two sexes.
Yeah.
But I could see how in some contexts people might want to frame it as three, even though it's, you know, technically its own thing. Anyways, the evil commenter says, with the amount of refugees coming over from countries with very oppressive laws and views toward women, how can we assimilate them to our views? I don't feel like that's... I don't feel like that's a problem. Is that a problem?
What do you mean?
Like, I don't know. Do we need to assimilate people?
I think to a degree... to a degree you need to assimilate to the culture that you're going to be a part of.
No, yeah. Well, no. I mean...
Well, think about it. This, like, if you have Western values, right? Like, which is, like, secular or...
Yeah, I mean, particularly with, like, the misogynistic stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question.
That's
a very hard question.
It requires... I don't know. Because I'm not an expert in that either.
Well, so I'm not an expert. I mean, I have some thoughts on it. They're not collected. But
right.
I feel like... Yeah, I mean, I'm against misogyny, but I don't think that, like, people should have to give up their culture.
It's not about giving
up... No, it's not about giving up their culture.
Yeah, I don't think people give up their... It's like...
It depends on what it is. It depends on what we're referring to.
It depends on what cultures are clashing.
Yeah.
Because right now, I think... In Europe, I don't think it's as bad as people are saying it is, although obviously there is a rise in terror attacks in Europe, which is troubling.
Yeah.
But it's not this... I don't think it's as big a deal as some hyperbolists would make it out to be. But there is a culture clash.
Right.
And especially when that culture clash is between a Bronze Age religion and a Bronze Age... I know that's not technically actually Bronze Age, but you know what I'm saying. Like an old, very, very antiquated... religious set of laws and an old antiquated religious set of ideals, and that clashes with a very first world, a very modern structure of society.
Yeah.
I think that's going to lead to some serious culture clash.
Right.
And that's something that people should look into. I think the best way to do it would be to probably make it... Obviously, the simple answer is make it easier for people to assimilate. I don't know how you would do that though, because there's such different cultures clashing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a right answer.
Right.
I don't know if I have that answer.
That's a tough question, but
it is
thought provoking. So thank you.
Yeah.
Nerd Factor says, thanks for the 25. Thoughts on extreme feminism delegitimizing true feminism, and to those they are trying to bring over and understand the viewpoint. I do think that extremism is alienating a lot of people. I don't necessarily think there's like a extreme feminism and a true feminism. Like, it gets hard to delineate what those are. But like on a like colloquial level, I agree with you. Like, there are some pretty loud extreme voices that I think are alienating people. Alienating people with, like, for me, I'm really alienated by the anti-science stuff. You know, like, that's what has alienated me from feminism at this point, and a lot of the identity politics stuff, too, which I'm going to talk about in the future. But I just think the way that feminism, like, the rules that feminism has laid out for the conversation, like, the rules of who can say what and what's allowed and all these things, has made it really hard for people to enter this conversation. It's made it really hard for people to, hash out offensive ideas, to, grow and evolve and learn. And I think that goes both ways, not just, people who aren't feminists learning from feminists, but people who are feminists learning from people who aren't. I think there's just a really bad precedent that feminism sometimes sets in terms of how the conversation has to happen. And I disagree with it, and this whole series I've been doing is me kind of saying fuck you to that aspect and getting a lot of shit for it. I think a lot of the shit is coming because of, I'm breaking the rules of what you're supposed to talk, what you're allowed to talk about, how you're allowed to talk about it, what the talking points are, and that gets you kicked out of the tribe. And I think that that's ultimately counterproductive because I am a feminist and I do share, values and ideals with a lot of these people. But I can't agree with the rules of engagement a lot of the time. And the way that they approach some of these things is very frustrating to me and has been for a very long time. A very long time. So many feels on that. Thanks, Nerd Factor. Greedo10 says, why do people focus on women and people of color when other people are far more marginalized? For instance, there is only 10% unemployment rate for autistic people in the UK. I don't know. I think that there are, in the intersectionality movement, there's sort of or intersectional feminism, there is sort of a focus on finding the most marginalized. But that, ability, disability is something that I've heard a lot of activists say there's not enough focus on in, the feminist movement. So that's a complaint that they would make as well. And maybe you're one of them. No, Smokey Bear. That's not happening. Patrick Ramsey says, how has negative backlash affected your plans to continue pursuing dialogic communication with people who have opposing views? They haven't really. Just made it a whole lot more annoying.
I feel like it's just kind of showcased exactly why it's kind of necessary.
It is a case in point, isn't it?
It is a very case in point. I even said, in the only video I've ever done on the whole conversation that was happening, I even said, look, at the end of the day, if anybody's going to convince anybody to do anything, it's not going to be people like me. Yeah. It's going to be that side's obsessive reaction. I called it from the very beginning. Yeah. It's because it's obvious.
Well, yeah.
It was obviously going to happen, and then obviously it did.
Yeah.
I didn't do anything. I have not once in the last several months tried to convince you of anything.
Yeah.
Not once at all.
Do you think I try to convince you of stuff?
No.
Yeah.
Well,
I tell you when I think you're wrong.
Yeah.
Is that convincing?
I mean, it can be.
Yeah.
But, I've not tried, is the thing. I've not actually tried to, hey, you should believe this.
Yeah.
I haven't told you, hey, you should look at this study because you're wrong.
Yeah. Of course.
I've done nothing.
Yeah.
It's all been these lunatics writing hit pieces and,
it's so crazy. It's really nuts.
I hate being right so often.
Juliet's Juju, thank you for the tip. Aaron Curro, is it Ingrid Nilsson? P.S. You have a nice smile. I haven't referred to Ingrid in this conversation, so I'm not sure what you're referring to, but no. Maximus Barron says, also thank you for the nice compliment. Maximus Barron says, Chris...
Oh, he wants me to read that again. I'm not going to read it again. Should I do it, though, for $10?
Yeah, you should do it.
I wish to wish the wish you wish to wish, but if the wish you wish... But if you wish the wish the witch wishes, I won't wish the wish you wish you wish.
You know what? You did way worse this time.
I did.
I'm really disappointed.
I'm tired.
In you. I'm really disappointed.
I'm very...
Sorry you fucked that one up, Maximus.
Listen.
You just did not come through. Waterboarded Baby says, hey, Lacey Green and Chris Raygun, would you like to join my Minecraft server? I've added many plugins, including economy plugin. Please respond.
Please respond. He's really into this.
I don't play Minecraft.
Me neither.
But if I did, I'd be there because I don't know what the economy plugin is, but it sounds sick. So
the whole economy.
Good work. Praise the Sun says, as someone in the anti-feminist camp, have you played Dark Souls and did you like it? What's Dark Souls?
It's a video game.
Oh, I haven't played it.
Yeah.
Inji Benji asks, Chris, are you excited for the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm?
What?
What?
I didn't know there was... I didn't know.
Oh, is there... You didn't know there's a new season?
No.
Is there a new season? Are they trolling you?
If there's a new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm, I'm incredibly happy about that. And I'm much looking forward to it.
I feel like this might be a troll.
No, they wouldn't troll me. You think people would do that? People would just go on the internet and tell lies?
I know it's really hard to imagine.
Have you watched Curb?
Curb?
Have you watched Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Oh, yeah. Curb?
That's what it's called.
Okay, well, I'm not cool enough to call it that.
That's how us curb heads refer to it.
No!
That's what we call ourselves.
Curb heads?
We're curb heads.
No.
That's what we call ourselves. That's
Moving along.
That's our little fan group. Mm-hmm. You ever go to curbhead.com?
So, Super Mario...
It's a big forum where we all discuss the interwoven lore of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Did you see the non-canon Curb Your Enthusiasm movie that came out in 2006?
Okay, that's enough. Super Mario asks, will you talk to TJ Kirk now, Lacey? Yes, I will. Holly Elise says, Chris, Mama needs her ray gun recap.
It's coming. I'm writing it still.
Your mom is asking. She sent us a message with $4.20. She sent us $4.20.
I'm working on it. It's hard.
You need to apologize to your mom.
It's hard to make things that are consistently better than the previous thing you've made. I'm really kind of stubborn about that. I won't put out something if I think it's bad.
Yeah.
And I'm really I've made videos and I've thrown them away. Like I have at least 10 videos over the last 3 years that I haven't put out.
Yeah,
they're
I do
completely
that too.
Finished, but I
think we're both a little too neurotic.
Probably.
Craig says Lacey sing Punch and Nazi.
No.
Oh, what if I don't know it that
That's fine. I don't know it.
Yeah. Sorry, Craig. Bastiat. I've been dating my girlfriend 4 years now. I'm a Republican, pro-Trump. She's a feminist Democrat who loved Hillary. Can we make more bipartisan love? Oh, that's cute.
That's how my parents are.
Yeah?
Well, my dad didn't love Trump. My dad voted Trump because he didn't like Hillary. And my mom voted Bernie, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's adorable. You're the product of bipartisan love.
Yeah, exactly. I have just pure, unadulterated carelessness.
Yeah. So beautiful. I love it.
It's pretty great.
Jury asks, what are your thoughts on Christina Hoff Sommers and Camille Paglia? Sommers does a video on rape culture and the 1 in 3 to 7 statistic. I am not super familiar with either of their work yet. I've been slowly, this is going to be a process for all these things, so I'll check it out ASAP. Tyler says, will you debate Sargon? Yes. David,
Whoa.
Oh, lost it again.
Son of a bitch. This is
Son
so many. We gotta do like a lightning.
Oh, we tried.
We tried, but then we immediately...
We're trying to lightning, guys. We're really bad at this.
We immediately stopped trying. It was
Fucking hell.
There we go.
Okay.
Will you debate Sargon?
Yes. David says, I welcome dialogue with anti-fems, but wish you wouldn't call others SJWs, considering it's used for years to attack all feminists, including you. I hear that. I appreciate that perspective. I do feel like, though, for me, it's helpful to make a distinction between feminists and these people who are it's not even about feminism anymore. It's like about ego. There's like lots of censorship. It's anti-science. People shutting conversation down. To me, that's what an SJW is. And I know that it's a derogatory term, and that it's been used in that way against me. And a lot of other people, but that's the language that people are using to talk about this stuff, and it does, and I kind of agree with some of these people who are talking about like the really, really radical, toxic stuff, the toxicity. I feel like I'd rather call that SJWs than feminists, because I'm a feminist and I like to think that I don't participate in that kind of stuff, and there's a way to be invested and care about these things without, being terrible to other people. Oscar says, as a beaner with a CS in Chicano Studies degree, I love both you guys, and thank you, Lacey, for progressing on these kinds of talks. People stick too much to ideology and leave empathy in the trash. Free Kekistan. Thanks for the 50, Oscar. I definitely support that message. I think that there is a little bit too much. I think we should focus on ideology, but we have to respect each other, and like you say, we need to empathize with each other. Like the whole Riley thing that happened this week. Where's the empathy? We can disagree, but we can still have empathy for each other, right? Appreciate that. And Andre Luis Tiago Soares says, does walking down the block with no clothes violate the nap?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what the nap is.
Yeah. Fire.
Sorry.
Fire what? Siku?
Fire Siku says, to prove Chris' earlier point of warped statistics, 1 out of 4 homeless people are women.
I don't know if that proves. It's just a warped statistic.
Yeah.
Is that true?
I wouldn't trust any statistics people throw out here
without
Googling it.
I feel like it's a pretty widely known thing that I feel like most homeless people are male. I think that's a pretty
I don't know.
agreed upon thing.
I don't know. Yeti, do you feel any different about calling Philip DeFranco all right after all you've been through recently and any chance of being on his podcast? I don't think I ever called him all right. I don't recall that. And I don't think I called him all right because I don't think he's all right and never have. I think I remember
what they're talking about.
What are they referring to?
I think what was it? I think you were referencing him with other people who you thought were all right. And then I think it's like it's a comma Oxford comma kind of situation.
Oh. Well, I don't know. I don't think Phil's all right though.
No. Phil's definitely not.
He's not
all right at all.
William G79 says, 1 in 5 studies bunk self-reported is regret rape. Do you still minimize false rape accusations? Would you talk to a victim of false allegations? Yes, I would. I don't minimize them. Bye. Smokeman, to both Chris and Lacey, what's your favorite horror movie?
Oh, it's a good question. I haven't watched a horror movie in a long time.
Oh, really? My favorites would be Rosemary's Baby and The Shining. And you know what was really fucking good recently, you guys? Bates Motel, if you guys haven't seen that show, was so good. That show rocked my world. Because I really like Psycho. All the sequels were pretty bad, even though I still watched them too many times. But Bates Motel was really well done. I would say that's like my favorite horror TV show. Although I just finished Westworld too. That was a mind fuck as well. Holy shit. Westworld. I really like horror a lot. But I don't like the horror that we see a lot of now. It's like gore porn. It's badly written.
Right.
You know, you need like some good, solid, terrify me stuff.
I think the first one that I liked was like The Exorcist.
Uh-huh.
I like that a lot, and then it hasn't aged all that well. But I feel
that's a classic.
But I feel like horror in particular is one of those genres that's completely ruined when you study film.
Why?
It's just destroyed.
Why?
Because like I cannot be scared of it. And I don't get that feeling. I don't get the feeling of fear that I used to get out of horror movies after I learned about how you make movies.
Yeah.
Because it just becomes like there's a scene in The Babadook where like
that's a good one. I like The
Babadook! The Babadook was terrifying when you couldn't see him.
Yeah.
But then you saw him, and it's like, this is just like some middle-aged dork in a cape with long fingernails.
Yeah.
And that was really disappointing.
Well, I think it's kind of silly and like
it is
charming in its own sense.
But like even like the drawing of the Babadook in that book was a lot more terrifying than what we got.
Hey, maybe that's the point. Like things are scarier than they might seem.
But
things seem scarier than they actually are, I should say.
Right. I guess. But like the thing is, it's like there's a scene in that movie where the Babadook shuffles towards the camera.
Yeah.
And they do that thing where they cut out a frame.
Yeah.
Every frame or every 2 frames to make it seem like it's moving at an inhuman speed.
Yeah.
And that would have been terrifying if I didn't know that was
right.
If I didn't know everything about that exact trick.
Well, aren't we just a killjoy?
Horror movies have been ruined for horror games. Terrify me though. I'm a baby about them.
Yeah.
Because there's a first-hand experience in them.
Yeah.
That I can't do.
I've seen some scary. My friends play some scary ones.
It's not fun.
The Frog Spawn one says, no links by Super Chat. I didn't know that. Lame, a lot of articles on how sexual assault statistic is exaggerated, broad definition, unrepresentative, misrepresented. You know, feel free to send me the links, but I have done a lot of fucking research about this topic, so it's going to take a lot of data to convince me, and some pretty strong studies, all right? Not just like some random-ass blog to convince me that sexual assault isn't a big problem. White and Nerdy says, Ree is frog screeching like Pepe and Keck. I think that's the lesson I learned today.
That Ree is the sound of
I
a frog?
learned what Ree is. Like, these are life lessons.
All right.
Major Cat says, Borakua? What's that?
What?
You get your white girl.
Boricua. Hell.
What? What is happening?
Boricua is
I'm trying to read this.
That's like Puerto Rican, essentially. That's kind of what it means.
Okay.
For
Well, thank you, Major Keck, fellow Puerto Rican.
Major Keck. Thanks, Jonathan Edwards, for the $2 tip.
Thanks for the tip.
Matt Kavanaugh.
Gained mad respect from you from the recent videos about being red pilled. Conversation is super important, even with those you disagree with. I agree. Thanks, Matt. Major Cat, back again with the white girl something.
Yeah.
Black Cape Sleuth says, love your work, Lacey. Keep diving into all the layers of the truth. Appreciate it, Black Cape. Anthony Caputa says, that was a serious question. Are traps rape? I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know what that's referring to.
I think... So if like someone tricks somebody into having sex with them. I don't know if you could trick somebody, though. I guess you could put them in a situation where they're uncomfortable saying no.
This is too complicated of a topic for me to hash out right now.
Yeah, that would require a lot of, like...
I
thought it was like a troll comment, and then I started thinking, oh, okay.
Yeah, no... I see what you're saying now. Yeah.
Right. We need to, like...
Let me sit on that one.
Think a lot about that one.
Let me think about the parameters on that one. Gareth, hello again. Can you comment on the anti-biology attitudes of the feminist establishment? On a related note, have you seen Sexual Personae have you read by No, I haven't read it yet. I think that's on my reading list, though. On the reading list that I asked people for on Twitter, which you guys can still send me to, stuff that you want me to check out when I get free time, which is not super often. The anti-biology stuff, I think there is too much focus on sex as a social construction. And I'm going to talk more about this in the next video. But, I am sort of in the line of thinking that male and female are material realities and that they contribute to our gendered situations. Stuart Hagen says, I recall 0809 Atheist Lacey. Good to see you're still cool. Thanks, Stuart. I appreciate that. I miss those days. Peter Morris says, discussion with Contra and or Philosophy Tube, two of my favorite humans. Yes, hopefully I will get to talk to them both at some point. Jonathan Edwards says, Lacey, how tall are you? I am 5'3". Matthew Murray, are either of you planning on going on Joe Rogan's podcast? You don't really plan to go on someone's podcast. They invite you.
Yeah.
So you don't. I don't have a plan. I just go where I'm invited.
Yeah, same. I mean, Joe's tweeted out some of my stuff in the past, but I haven't been invited. Cool. Yeah, he retweeted a video I did about the Ghostbusters thing, which we were talking about earlier. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'll go when I'm invited if I'm invited, but that's unlikely.
Ansgar Odinson says, love you to death, Chris.
Thank you.
Death.
To death. He's gonna... Am I dying or you?
It's nice to see someone continue to push back against the SJW nonsense without doing a huge sidestep to the right like so many have. Yeah, I like that too.
I feel like I've never been to the right, though.
I know. It's just
yeah, exactly. It's a similar thing.
It's the same thing as me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually
people think you're a conservative.
Really?
People ask me, are you really dating a conservative?
As if, that's a big deal.
I know. But my whole family and a lot of my friends are conservative. So as if that's so outlandish. But also just, thinking you're conservative.
I like guns, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm big on, strong immigration policies. But I'm also, for, a certain amount of gun control. And I'm also for a way to make immigration a lot more efficient.
Sounds very reasonable.
So it's those are the most right positions I have, I guess.
Yeah. No, you're a lefty like me.
No?
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, wait, I'm getting a phone call.
Wait, are you really?
Hello, Richard Spencer? How's it going, bud? Long time no see. Oh, he hung up on me. It's almost like we're not friends anymore.
I really wish you'd stop hanging out with Nazis.
Yeah, I know. It's a big problem.
I'm hoping, we can, work through that.
Yeah, hopefully I'll stop hanging out with Nazis. In the 2 hours a day that I leave my house to go raid a convenience store for their lemon Snapples when I meet up with my Nazi buddies on the side of the road.
That's too accurate.
It's unfortunately.
So accurate. Snark Victory says, so proud of you. Thanks. Do you think 2017 is the year of both sides calming the fuck down? I don't know, Snark. I tend to be an optimist, so I'm going to say maybe a little bit.
Wait,
at least maybe more dialogue. I hope.
We'll see.
We'll see. I mean, we can get riled up, but let's have like respectful conversations, you know. Dead Hero asks, have you seen or heard of the new DC Flintstones comics? It does things like treat monotony like gay marriage. Treat monotony.
Flintstones comics?
That's pretty interesting. I haven't heard of it. We'll check it out. Singular Personality Disorder says, late to the stream, so I'm sorry if this is already asked, but what happened at VidCon? Do you think Anita has started her downfall into oblivion? We talked about this a few times, so just rewind the
it's gonna be a long stream.
Yeah, I know. I'm
but
sorry.
Our general opinion is, it got blown out of proportion.
Yeah, we think things got blown out of proportion, and that there was misbehavior on both sides. Well, yeah. I mean, okay. No, not on Sarga. I don't know. We already talked about it. We hashed this out. We already talked about it. Okay, we hashed out the nuances.
We have to lightning round.
We gotta keep moving. We only got
11, 12 minutes.
We got 13 minutes here. Okay. Zen Jr. 1004 says, it's been fun and balanced talk. Congratulations. Love to you both from Brazil. Thank you, Zen. That's super sweet of you. Appreciate it. Red says, thoughts on Trump's presidency? Train wreck.
A tad. Hashtag.
A train wreck.
Go to Weezer's Hurley album and play the train wreck song. And that's what it's been, essentially.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Lorna Gall says, one, Chris looked at Proud to Be 2016 and didn't see Otherkin. Oh, he was referring to a different video. 2, have you seen Trump's CNN shitpost? I think we've all seen it at this point. 3, thoughts on this hilarity. We can't access that, unfortunately.
Right. It wasn't exactly a Proud to Be. I remember it was just a video formatted very, very similarly to Proud to Be. And I remember because I don't know if I did a video on it or if I did a stream with other people talking about it, and they were explicitly talking about some of the more outrageous Tumblr stuff, and they were treating them as if it was like just as valid a struggle as like something like the gay rights movement. And I'm just like,
okay,
these are very different things.
Right.
And you shouldn't lump them in together because, like, I feel like it minimizes a very real thing.
Yeah.
Into what is essentially like a Tumblr joke. Yeah.
Gareth Green says, would either of you ever have kids together or with other people? Also, is pro-life feminism a contradiction in terms? Well, Chris and I have only been dating a couple of months, so I think it's a little bit early to, talk about kids.
Yeah, good Lord.
But, I think in general people just, for me, it's like whatever life... Whatever seems right in life. I don't know. I don't have my mind made up on any of those things for me personally. Also, is pro-life feminism a contradiction in terms? I would say it is, and I'm going to be having a debate in the future with a pro-life feminist who would say it is not. That'll be fun. That's one of the things I get really fired up about.
What?
Pro-life? Abortion.
Oh yeah.
I get really zippy about abortion. That'll be a fun one. I'll have to keep my cool.
Zippy
I get a little hot-headed about such things.
A little bit.
Zap Xander says, Chris, what is your song that you bang to?
What?
Like that you bang yourself to?
That's what he's asking me, right? What do I bang to?
Do you have a masturbation song I don't know about?
Yeah, it's that
an anthem.
Do you know that anime clip where the dude's like, whoa, and it loops 46 times? It's that one.
Oh God, I'm so aroused right now.
Yeah,
Demi says, what do you think about Tariq and Armored Skeptic? Tariq is insane and makes me laugh, and Greg is tight. Demotivator opinion, thanks for the tip.
Hey, Tim.
The Frog Spawn one says, paternity fraud, fraudulently putting a man's name on a birth certificate and him being unable to eject and then being liable for alimony. No appeal. That's fucked up. If that's a thing, that's fucked. And I remember thinking that during the movie. It's another one of the things, of many things I need to do more research on. Obviously, I'm a very, ignorant human. I have many things to learn. Tyler Cherry says, traps are men that dress as girls, be it anime or not. Weren't you saying it's like we keep going.
I don't know. I don't know specifically.
Thank you for
what my perception is that.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. Are they, though? Obamacare.
Good Lord, Obamacare. Obamacare ruining everything as usual.
Thanks, Obamacare.
Better go tell my my Nazi friends that Obamacare screwed me over yet again.
You should. Let them know.
Yeah.
Tell them. Casey says, will you come to MythCon in Milwaukee? Sean Head and Sargon will be there. We had briefly discussed it's in the fall, right?
Yeah, it's in like October or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. I don't know much about it. I don't know anything about it. Stuart Hagen says, since you went rogue, Skeptic and Cheska had a good talk at VidCon, and Skeptic and Shu hung out with several SJ YouTubers. Do you think you've started a bridge movement lazy for Nobel Peace Prize? It's very flattering. I am going to take some of the credit because, honestly, all these people treated me like shit.
Yeah.
They treated me like fucking shit for like a month, all of these the feminist types, and now they're all, starting to talk to people, which makes me very happy. But I'm going to take some ownership of that because I had to put my neck out when none of them would support me. I'm very bitter about it. I'm very bitter. It's like, you guys, you are...
Well, they kind of, nailed you to a bit of a cross there.
Don't get me started. All right, don't get me started. Sean Dupre says, how pissed were your feminist colleagues after Chris's live stream?
Were they? I don't think you got anything from my
I didn't see anything.
They're not... Let me tell you something. They're probably not watching my live stream. Yeah. They're probably not tuning in. I mean... In this... What?
I can think of a few who probably tune into literally everything you do.
Oh, yeah, well...
Anyways.
That's fine.
Yeah. I don't think they were very pissed, Sean.
No.
That's my question. My answer. Praise the sun. Your favorite game is Dark Souls.
That's an assertion.
That's a statement.
That's fact. That's
it's your
canon.
favorite now. Okay,
that's
thank you.
Now.
Thank you.
That's hardcore, man.
Green says, watch out, there's a man next to you.
Toxic.
It's pretty toxic. Yeah. The man part of you. It's very toxic. Samarv says, atheist community, laci Mormon discussion when? Oh, we should do that soon.
Yeah.
Oh, add it to the list. Add it to the list, fam.
Music Factory Studios with the $1 tip, thanks.
Thank you for the tip. Dark Mortal, someone said anime, so I can recommend My Hero Academia. Okay, we'll check it out. I'm not huge on anime, but from time to time.
I'm not big on anime unless it's got Goku in it.
Yeah, nerd. Jantium says, what about native pride? It's not only a race, but a culture. Yeah, I'm okay with people feeling proud.
I have a big part of my family that is native.
Yeah.
Native American. My grandfather was literally like you.
Do you feel native pride? Are you
no,
proud?
I'm aware of that
Why
culture.
Are you proud?
I identify more with the Puerto Rican side.
Yeah.
Like the Spanish side, Gloria Estefan, empanadas, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Empanadas. we have 6 minutes.
Right.
Mr.
Okay.
Empanadas.
Okay, we gotta.
Okay. Lloyd Repton says, I haven't been this happy since 1998 when Cain threw mankind off the hell in a cell through the Spanish announce table.
I don't know what that means, but thanks.
Very fucking confusing.
Yeah.
Thank you for the confusion.
Zoe Richard with the $5.
I went to the impeach Donald Trump rally yesterday. Hope you don't hate that. No. And I'm getting hate from my friends and family for my red state advice. Ask them, don't you believe in freedom of speech?
Yeah, you can go to whatever rally you want.
You can do whatever the hell you want. Also, people who want to hate about that kind of stuff, they're just going to be angry. Like, I feel like you can't please them, You just got to do your thing.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's like, you can, my family will sometimes give me a weird amount of shit for, something, But at the end of the day, it's like, I can still visit them and it's fine.
Yeah.
There's no animosity built from that.
Yeah.
So I think you have to distinguish, what kind of, is it a jab? Mm-hmm. Or is it a get away from me forever?
Yeah, that's true.
Because that exists on both sides. I've noticed that there's a lot more on the liberal side of my family in particular.
Yeah.
But I think that's also just because, the right's kind of used to being the butt of the joke for a while now. Mm-hmm. Since, 06, 05.
That's true.
Even some of the earliest memes that I recall from the internet were those jib jab videos about George Bush.
Yeah.
There was a show. I don't know if anybody remembers this. There was literally a show on Comedy Central called Lil Bush, and it was just about a small, a child George W. Bush in the White House.
I don't know where this started, but yeah.
It is a bit of a tangent.
Somehow we got to a tiny bush.
I think what I'm saying is I think people are used to. Yeah. Certain people are used to being the butt of the joke.
Yeah. If there's a mod in the chat, how do I be on this guy? Who's... You can't spam swastikas.
Yeah, that's 4chan probably for you.
Yeah. Okay, Min Ray Sakato says, how can your fans help you when the internet gets hard? Oh, that's really sweet and thoughtful of you. I think that, you know, when I get tweets from you guys, sometimes I get really sweet tweets that I wake up to in the morning, which makes me really happy, and emails, you know, those things mean a lot to me, and when it has the sads, I go read them again, because they make me feel happier.
Yeah.
Mandy Roscoe says, thank you, Lacey, for talking to the other side. The world needs more feminists like you who talk to people. Gives me hope for feminism that it can be taken back, and there are others out there like you. Thanks, Mandy. Yeah, I think this is just a really heated, emotional conversation, you know, and hopefully we can start to have more good dialogues. Okay. Mahedro says, Lacey, I just want to thank you for reaching across the aisle and keeping an open mind. It's a brave move in the right direction, and I respect you for it. Thank you very much. That's really sweet of you. You guys are so sweet. What the heck? Straight Edge Soldier, I am Emperor Xenu. Fear me, for I am a cosmic cat. I demand Steve Chives. Steve Chives unblock me, for he owes me pizza. I can't guarantee that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Bazaman. Lacey's general naivete about pop culture and stuff is honestly the most adorable thing ever. Teacher Chris, you're a nerd, right? I know about pop culture!
No.
No, it's true. I am kind of disconnected from pop culture a lot of the time. I'm like too far in my own world.
Yeah. Well, we got 2 minutes.
We got two. Oh, Jesus.
So, okay, what do we got? What are your views on religious freedom? Gareth Green, is there any benefit to premarital abstinence in your view?
Support religious freedom, support premarital abstinence if that's what the person wants.
Yeah, it shouldn't be forced, though.
Yeah.
Matt Williamson, what are some reasonable feminists you recommend? $2.
Still vetting.
Still vetting?
Yeah.
James Boogly, I've noticed since you opened the door for discussion that a lot of other people have opened up. It brings me hope, but I still agree with Chris that we should create a black hole and suck everybody into it. Thank you. This is what I've been saying.
Oh, wow. Well, that's, really...
For $20.
Morbid.
What?
Would you like a slide roll?
I don't know what that means. Thanks, Gwen Patton, for the $2, though. I don't know what that means.
Yay, Jared. I'm glad that video helped you about flying statistics. It helped me, too.
Way to go up. You missed Gavin West with the $2. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Gavin. Hobbs, here's some fake Canadian dollars for two of my favorite YouTubers. It's very sweet of you, Hobbs. Kaiokis, thanks for the tip. Appreciate it. Gareth Green, my dad was a C-section. I almost was, but came out just in time. My dad and I have very large foreheads that plugged the exit.
Good Lord.
That's such a weird way of describing it. And my mom was a lot taller than his was, and I was a natural birth. Yeah, a birth is a beautiful thing. Ren Dilly says, missed you when you came to TTU in 2015. Even here in super conservative Texas, we've had a lot of people deplatformed on both sides. What are y'all's opinions on it, canceling talks due to uproars? I obviously think it's really stupid, and I've been deplatformed myself and probably will continue to be. I think it's good for college students to hear opinions they disagree with and that make them mad. I think that prepares people for the problems and the ideas that they're going to confront outside of school, and I do think academia can be a little bit of an echo chamber, so I'm not a fan of that. Holly Lee says, sub to Laddie context. Laddie's a storytime YouTube animator and sub to Laddie is a meme, so just answering that from Chris' most recent stream. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about it.
Thanks for the explainer.
Gareth Green, how do you define feminism? $12.
I would say gender equality is what feminism is in a nutshell.
Admire you. The endangered male.
The endangered.
I like that. $2.
Give my channel a shout out. Shout out to endangered males.
It's a great name.
Everywhere. Yeah, I like that. Daniel says, "Oh fuck, it's 7." Fucking God, I feel bad. Oh, we're almost there.
At the end.
Okay. We're just gonna go to Matthew. Oh, were we almost there?
I don't know.
Oh. No, we weren't almost there. Oh, here it is. How do you find feminism? I'm going to be on the Room Report in 2 weeks. Daniel, I'll be there. I will be there. Exiled Postman is it exhausting to see tens and thousands of people on Twitter and YouTube who are scrutinizing every single thing you do? Because some of those people are fucking crazy and need to get lives. Fucking preach it, Postman.
Yeah. Justin, forced to the 10 Canadian dollars has Backlash allowed you to see the light.
I have seen more light, I will say that. It's been very revealing to me. Not just like the public stuff, but like some private stuff too. It's just like, what the fuck? Aaron, the operator, since you're a sex educator, have you taught some new things to Chris the bedroom?
No
comment. He like apologizes for being invasive. That's cute. Now I want to tell you, but I'm not going to. Bye. No Ram Spieler says, has Chris cooked what?
Pernil and mofongo.
No.
They're
no. Chris doesn't have a stove.
I don't have.
Chris doesn't have enough.
My stove. I do have a stove. I have a stove.
You don't use it.
It's broken.
Okay.
Because we have not paid for gas.
Yeah.
In several months. So they have disconnected it.
I'm just giving you some shit.
I don't have a stove.
I'm just giving it.
But I will soon.
Yeah.
So I will cook some pernil.
Good.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. When can we expect to see a skit featuring the two of you?
What the fuck?
I don't know, Edward. I don't know. Gareth Green, Chris, have you played Mass Effect or Dragon Age?
Mass Effect, not Dragon Age.
Ryby asks, do you think traps are gay? You guys are obsessed with this question. I feel like I have to do a video on it, like really breaking this down.
Yeah.
Gareth Green said, how did you guys meet and get together? We met on a stream, and then...
We met after a stream.
After a stream, and then...
and then we
Skyped for a while, and then we decided to meet for lunch.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
That's how it starts.
Yeah. Pete Ard says, Lacey, if you want a man who ain't all up in your video, all up on your songs, dancing around, come to death row, girl.
I don't know what that means. But okay.
What?
Time Chesterman with the $10. What do you think? What do you think anti-feminists... Wait, what...
Why do you think anti-feminists completely dismiss the possibility that someone may experience gender dysphoria in a way better described as non-binary or gender fluid rather than trans? I think because gender dysphoria is typically thought of as being connected to sex, right? It would be more accurately described as, in some definitions, like sex dysphoria. And so when we're talking about non-binary, well, sex is sort of a binary. I think that would be the rebuttal. Maybe. I could be wrong. We're going to be hashing all of this stuff out, like, in detail in the future.
Right.
Praise the son of a Chris ray gun.
Wow.
Okay.
That's not okay. $20 Canadian. Lacey, will you go on Drunken Peasants?
Yes. Catplant Asmar, do you like Asmar or thoughts? Yes, I do. I like it a lot.
Really?
Yeah, like cooking ones. There's, what is it, Peaceful Cuisine? That's my favorite one.
I like the ASMR of mosquitoes whispering horrible things to one another. You ever see that video?
You would like that.
You ever seen that video?
No, I haven't.
If you slow down the wing patterns of a mosquito, the sound of the wings of a mosquito, you can hear very dark diatribes.
Okay. Austin Hartless says, just entered this stream. I'm proud of you for opening up a dialogue with the other side. Thank you, Austin.
Other side in quotes, as it should be.
The other side, yes. I appreciate that.
TJ Cadwell with $10.
You've seen Sargon's chat with Joe Rogan. I have seen part of it. Yeah, it's really long. I've seen part of it. Zachary Campbell, you guys rock. Love what you two are doing on both your channels. Keep it up. Thank you. William Cornelius, $10. Anita at VidCon. Thoughts? Total self-embarrassment, self-destruction.
We've talked about it.
We talked about it, William. There were some missteps. Like I said, I think it's not okay to call people names and
from a platform.
Yeah, from a platform, and it's a little bit unprofessional. Daniel Cameron says, Lacey, will you ever go on Drunken Peasants? Yes! They need to invite me, though. They haven't invited me. Tell them to invite me. If you do have to slap TJ in the face, that lazy bitch scammer. Okay, will do. I have a few things I wanted to slap him in the face for, so...
No dude in particular? Hey, no dude in particular with $5?
I want to send you some internet love. Sorry for all this shit people you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, my dear. Niche Witchy says, if gender roles and norms didn't exist, do you think that less people would feel gender dysphoria and therefore less people would transition?
That's an interesting conversation.
We're gonna hash that one out.
That's super neat. I hadn't thought about that.
Really? Oh god,
I hadn't thought about that. I hadn't thought about that specific. I haven't had it worded in that way exactly.
Yeah. So this is like Nitwitchy is kind of getting at, I think, the heart of some of these struggles and some of the tougher questions that I'm going to be covering in my streams with people who are going to have very interesting perspectives on those questions in the future. Devin says we can fly Ingram. What do you think of political labels? To me, it feels like Republican and Democratic parties have turned into political teams where facts aren't even noticed on opposing side. I would agree with that. The labels are almost meaningless now, and I think that sucks because we need language to communicate. So what the heck? Nene says, I love the both of you. Thank you, Nene. Faisal says, who is your favorite MRA?
I don't know any that I would call my favorite.
I don't have any favorite MRAs.
I think Doc Randamarkam is pretty funny. I like his music.
I don't know enough people.
Yeah.
Austin says, I'm proud of you, Lacey, for starting this dialogue. Thank you, Austin. Tyrion Kenway says, Lacey, given that you're opening dialogues with new folks, have you looked into the wage gap and changed your mind, or do you still believe in it? So I actually answered that one also a little bit back, but I'll be doing a video about it eventually.
It's more complicated.
Oh, God.
We can do it.
Can we?
We can do it. We're so close.
Because that's where we were before, and now we're down here.
We're good. Don't worry.
Goku or is it Vegeta?
Vegeta.
Vegeta
is superior, obviously. Obviously. No contest.
Kyokus says Goku is the best. To say otherwise is heresy.
You're an idiot. I have to call... No.
You can't just call audience members garbage humans.
Listen. I can do whatever I damn well please. Vegeta is far stronger than Goku is.
Internet says, Davis, Aureli, and Roosh V are in a pit. Between them lies a tomato, a bucket, and a deck of cards. Who wins in a fight to the death and how? I don't know who Aureli is.
I know of Aureli. I don't know him, though.
Yeah. Not enough information to evaluate this throwdown. Orus and Ornuts. Lots of respect for engaging with those you disagree. Thank you, Oru. I appreciate it. November Mind also appreciate it. I did an ancestry DNA. I hope I'm part black. Best of luck to you there.
Everybody's really wrong in the chat about the whole Goku thing. Just saying.
Yeah, okay. Oh my god, you guys, this chat is a fucking nightmare. What are you doing?
This is what happens when when something breaks the internet. The trolls come.
You guys are ridiculous. Okay.
We gotta go.
Thank you for the tips, Steven, and the mother chode. God. Can I please have some soup? Yes, of course you can.
No soup for you, dude.
You're just mean.
It's a Seinfeld reference.
I know. No soup for George.
I'm wearing a Nirvana shirt, obviously.
I know.
But this is the Nirvana that doesn't have a member that killed themselves on it.
Right. It's a different one. Thanks for the tip, Matthew. Steven, glad you're a feminist. Talking to people identified as 1 in 09 would as a Lacey Green feminist instead. Aw, thanks, Steven. I appreciate that. Mike Dolan Fliss says, Evening Lacey, epidemiologist from NC here. Can you share more about what you're hoping to study, what degree when you go back to school? Also, yuck on the swastikas. I would agree.
Well,
yeah, I am still trying to figure it out, Mike. I think one of the two paths I'm looking at right now are public health and clinical psych. I'm trying to figure out what is best for what I want to do in the long term. So it's a process, and I've been sidetracked with a lot of things. But if anybody out there is in these fields and has advice, please send me an email because it's always really helpful to hear from you guys. Okay. Wait. Okay. Daniel Huckabone, thanks for staying a few minutes late for my question. Looking forward to you on the Ruben show. Thanks, Daniel. I appreciate it. Base Mama says, miss you at VidCon X Mormon stream sometime. Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah, she came up to me saying I want to talk to Lacey because I'm X Mormon too.
Oh fuck yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll have to connect later. Yeah. That one girl, thank you for the tip. James, by defining feminism as equality for women, do you mean equality of opportunity or equality of outcome? Maybe too deep a question for a live stream. No, I think that's a great question, but I define it as gender equality, not equality for women.
Right.
Brandon Harder, Lacey, are you a fan of Anita? Were you before your red pilling? Anita and I have been friends in the past. Hero Alchemy says, Lacey, what does Chris's father Gremlo think of him dating you? I don't know. What does Dad say? Have you heard from him? I don't talk to him. Justified Manitude. Share donations with Chris. He needs a stove. Chris gets plenty. It's not Chris's lack of donations. What?
You're feeding this gremlin thing. You're feeding.
This is the angry grandpa.
It's not. There's no angry grandpa
the
here.
Angry grandpa.
Share donations with Chris.
I'll turn on your
I can
stove.
afford a stove.
I will light your stove for you. All right, we'll take care of this.
I'm moving soon.
It's happening.
There's no point in paying the gas bill if it's just gonna stay on for the next people.
Excuses. All right, that one girl says, you guys have the cutest smiles. If you do have a child, it'll be the cutest. I'm so excited about what you're doing and how gorgeous you both are. Also, Vegeta is better. So it's very sweet of you, that one girl.
I was right.
Very, very sweet of you. Jasmine Woods, do you like my absurd humor? My channel. I haven't seen your channel, but I will check it out. Jasmine Woods.
Jasmine Woods.
Nexo. Chris, you need to get the YouTube channel Big Dicko to... What the fuck?
To voice Paul in the future.
Oh, it's a channel. He's got a unique voice.
I'll check him out. Yeah, I'm always looking for cool voices.
Chris is going to do a woman next, though. The mother child says, I just want some soup, you gosh darn homunculus.
Homunculus. It's one of my favorite words.
It's very angry. Sir Adamantine says, you two are so cute. Thanks. Caffeine D-hole says, help, how did I get here? What is the internet? You got pretty far into the internet, I would say, if you're here.
If you're here doing a super chat.
you got pretty far in. Caffeine D-hole. And then last one, last two, Insane Masquerade says, I'm an anti-feminist. You open the chat for me and a feminist. I appreciate that wider discussion because of you.
That's awesome.
Oh, that is super sweet. That's
pretty great.
Makes me, okay. Oh
my God. Clearly Krillin. All right. Obamacare, clearly Krillin is the strongest. That's obviously false. Magog, hey, what's up, Magog? The Morsker. Say this vexes me. He. Big loves from Morsker. Thanks. Praise the sun. What does a person with a lazy eye and someone who thinks Vegeta is better than Goku have in common? They both can't look straight. You are all incorrect. I have sources.
I don't know what's happening right now.
I have sources.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. You're so angry. Are you okay? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to gaslight you. Or
Vegeta
whatever.
fought the Cybermen as a child.
Okay, so this has been a really great
Goku
stream.
and all the Z fighters trouble as adults. So you're telling me that Goku is stronger than Vegeta? I refuse.
Okay. This has been.
It's important.
This has been an event of a lifetime. Thank you guys so much for all of your comments and questions. These are really good questions. So look, here's what's happening. Hopefully I'll have a new video for you guys this week. And then I'm going to be doing live streams like this regularly. And I'm going to be having guests on, anti-feminists, people who are radical feminists, people who are from all over the spectrum. And I'm going to have some discussions with them. And I think it'll be really interesting. I think you'll like some of these people that are going to come hang with me. So stay tuned for that. And thanks for streaming with me.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, you guys can check out Chris on his channel, Chris Raygun. And, yeah, thanks for being here. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Bye. Vegeta stronger.
I don't know what he's talking about. Bye. How do I stop this?
Stop streaming.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.